What's happening, everybody? This is Adi from Gate 7 International, and we have a very special episode for everyone today. As always, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Costa and Lambro. Boys, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited for the episode today and to talk about Olympiacos. I feel like we haven't talked much after the final. It's been a month. Me and Costa were there, and I think we're recovered now. Costa with his headband.
I'm clearly recovered. I'm still wearing my headband after the final.
It's crazy to believe that we just won the Conference League. It's been a little over a month basically since that happened, and I'm gonna have this feeling all summer. It hasn't died down yet, but before we talk more Conference League or anything else related to Olympiacos, as you guys know, we have a very special guest with us today. And before we bring him on, just a couple of quick things. First of all, if you haven't done so already, if this is your first time tuning into the channel, consider subscribing. Every engagement helps us grow the red and white community. The goal of this channel has always been to not just grow, of course, the audience, but to grow the Olympiacos community. Olympiacos is a global club, and we are finding people around the world. Every country, we have been broadcast and listened to in over 90 countries in the world. So help us continue to find even more people across the world and grow this community.
And that reminds me, Costa, we probably have so many new viewers in Greece today wondering why we are, speaking in English. Do you want to give the introduction on why you seem to do it so well?
Oh, do I? Okay.
You do it the best. Why do we speak in English, Costa?
This show was started by Greeks of the diaspora in the United States. I joined them a few months later. I'm very, very proud to be part of this initiative that brings together Olympiacos fans from all over the world. First generation, second generation, third generation Greeks that were born outside of Greece, some that don't speak English. We want to make sure that we provide a connection to those people as well. Those people that have their fathers, their grandfathers, their uncles, their mothers, their grandmothers that told them and taught them about Olympiacos. This is part of what this channel is about bringing all those people together. But also, it's Olympiacos is a Greek club, but it's more than that. It's a global club. We have more and more people that are non-Greeks that follow the club, especially now after winning the Conference League. So again, this channel is about communicating about Olympiacos as broadly as possible, English being the most spoken language in the world. Of course, we understand Greek. The three of us here, at least, we're all descendants of Greeks. So if you have your question and you'd like to put it in the comment in Greek, that's absolutely no issue. We will also be making sure that Greek subtitles are available for this video once the live is over. So as of tomorrow, if you're not watching this live, you'll be able to check out the Greek subtitles as well. Maybe just one more thing in terms of ground rules for today. We did ask the audience to send us questions beforehand so that we could help structure this somewhat. We're going to have a conversation with our guest Kostas Karapapas coming in soon. So be patient with us if you're throwing in comments in the chat. And last thing I'll say on the ground rules, if you think you're being funny and you think you try and be not so nice in the comments, you will be booted out. Messinoptikes diadikasias, as we say in Greek. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Let's get this show on the road. Did I miss something?
No, that's really it. And don't forget, guys, if you are here, you can also support us on Patreon. Just visit patreon.com/Gate7International. You can get access to the WhatsApp group where we share some information maybe that we don't always share on social media. A lot of funny things happen there as well. The group has taken on a life of its own. You also can get access to our enhanced content tier, which you can get early access to our scouting reports. We put a lot of time into scouting reports when there's players that are close to joining the club. You guys see some of the data that we put on social media. We put context to the data there. You can get early access. Plus, we do interviews with people outside of the realm of Olympiacos to kind of give us a perspective on the football landscape as well. So it's a great way to get involved. It's a great way to support as well if you want to. And like Costa said earlier, please behave. Costa, see, I'll let you take it away from there.
I mean, Labro, do you want to bring in our guest to do the honors?
Shall I?
Welcome him. Yeah,
Guys,
bring him on. The man from Hawaii. Bring him on.
Guys, it's an honor to bring on the Vice President of Olympiacos, Kostas Karapapas, to have a conversation about Olympiacos, what's happened, what's going on. Kostas, welcome to the show.
I was waiting for you to say I'm waiting for you in Hawaii, and you say
you're always welcome in Hawaii.
Okay, good. This is a good start. I hope when I come to Hawaii, I will come with my beard back because I lost it.
Whatever you want.
Okay, good. Good evening to everybody, and of course to you and all the fans that are watching the show.
Thank you.
Super. So let's get this show on the road. Costa, before we get into, everybody wants to know about what's going on with transfers and this and that and the other, but we're gonna start.
My life.
We're gonna start this slow, and we do this with all the guests that we have. We just want to get to know you a little bit better and ask you a bit about your background, your Olympiacos roots. Where does that come from? And also, we talked to you backstage already a little bit. We know that your English is excellent.
My
American. Your American English is very good. What did you study? Did you always?
Because if I was in Oxford, everybody would like, what is he speaking? But okay, in US it's better.
Did you always? I mean, you started off your career in journalism. I remember watching you on Opios Adexi on Supersport back in the day.
This was late in my career. In the beginning, I started with newspapers, and of course, in the beginning I wanted to start and have studies in law. But when I met the law in university, I thought it was not for me. And so I went to US to find my luck and my future like a director. So I make changes all the time. And after I found journalism in Greece. But as far as for Olympiacos, of course, I was a fan of Olympiacos. I was a reporter and columnist of Olympiacos as a journalist. I was an athlete of Olympiacos, of course, not football, but in boxing. But I was almost everything in roles in Olympiacos except maybe coach. I've never been a coach. So Olympiacos is all my life since I went to the stadium for the first time. I was 5 years old. I had two uncles that they're not here with me now, and they just came for the final, as all the people that we lost with me in the stadium. And the first time I remember I went in Karaiskaki was 1976. I was 5 years old, so the sickness is from this day on. So, and for a kid, it's very important. The people that they take him and show him their team and the love of the team. And for the first time, he sees this red and white sea in the stands, and especially Karaiskaki. But it's a stadium with a heartbeat. It's a stadium with fans that they were crazy, and it's the I don't know. I think the energy, there's something different. Maybe now I'm old, and all these years I feel this so. But as a person that I've lived this from the stands, from the pitch, from the dressing room, I think that I have a very good and clear picture about what this club stands for, and also the fans of Olympiacos. And I believe that the size of Olympiacos all around the world seems bigger than maybe some people think in Greece. This is my opinion. And after 13 years inside the club, and having and being in every place that Olympiacos played. I don't know if you know this statistic, but from 2011, I've seen all the matches of Olympiacos, home and away, all over the world, live in the stadium. I lost only 3 matches because of COVID. So you can imagine how many matches I saw in a row, and how good is my perspective and my view about what Olympiacos stands for around Europe and around the world. And I think that it would be nice for some in Greece to understand what Olympiacos is football and respect it, and maybe they will start to respect it more. So, as you maybe heard from journalists around Greece, I also supported Chelsea in England and Nottingham Forest, of course, now. I want to inform you, because maybe you don't know, that my support to Chelsea has to do with Olympiacos also. Because when I was born in 1971, Chelsea won Real Madrid in Karaiskaki and took the European Cup. So everything is connected with Olympiacos.
Wow.
Nothing to be without Olympiacos.
I didn't know that.
I think I say this for the first time.
Wow.
If they want to explain, I will explain happily.
Maybe
There's a
we'll
hell
see a
of-
journalist write
There's
about
a
that.
man. There's a hell of a lot of things that you said that I didn't know. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
listening to the show didn't know. Like you studied law.
But-
I knew that you had some
I'm
connection.
here to say things that they don't know. Huh?
But I know that you had some connection to boxing. Your son is boxing too, as well, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
it's a
and
blood.
we know Evelina Mavromati quite well. I've met her a couple of times. Nice girl, fantastic boxer. We tried to get her on the show.
If you see her with a dress, you don't understand she's a boxer. Huh? She's nice, but when she's in the ring, she's great.
Yeah, awesome.
Olympiacos is a champion of boxing in Greece for years now. They make very good job. And the coach of boxing, Mr. Lefteris Livadis, he was in the national team. He's in Olympiacos. He's a great guy, and we have a great team in boxing.
Costa, do you mind walking us through what a typical day is for you as the vice president of Olympiacos? And I know a lot of days are different. There's days that have maybe more meetings, or days can have crises here and there. But like, what is a typical day for you? What does that look like?
The day starts around 9:30 with some calls from people that they wake up early in Greece. They try to get me to start work around 9:30, which is difficult for me because I work until 10, 11 every night. So, okay, you have to take some time for yourself, maybe in the morning. But typically, I start 10 o'clock and I go to the office, and I leave my office around 10 every night. So it's almost every day. And of course, if we have a match, I'm in the stadium earlier. And when everybody is saying have a nice weekend, I leave with the team to travel to play somewhere. So this is my life. And it's something that many people, I understand, they dream about this. So I say to myself, when I'm tired, when I have pressure, because the pressure in this club is huge. It's not only for the players, it's for everybody. Especially someone who is, in the middle of many things. The football department, the company, the media, everything. So when I'm pressed, I close my eyes and I say, hey, Kostas, how many people would like to do what you do? To be in the club that they love, to fight for the club that they love, to have the trust of the club so many years, to guide some things and to do things, to have the love of the people in the club. Because, when we win, everything is good. Everybody's with us. Everybody's celebrating. Everybody is saying, bravo, congratulations, all that. When we lose, we're alone. And sometimes not only alone, but hearing things like, crazy things via social media or even in the street. When we walk, hey, Kostas, wow, what is this? Why we lose? And for me, it's even more difficult because, for the fans of Olympiacos in Greece, and I hope all over the world, I'm Kostas. I'm not Mr. Karapapas, the vice president, and I never wanted this. I read in the newspapers that I'm a fan of Olympiacos. He's gate 7. They think that this is bad for me. I like this. So they have to stop right about this. I like this. This is not something that I feel bad about. I feel bad when the people don't understand what is happening. And they have, they are very mean against the club and not against to the people that they try to make to harm the club. Sometimes I lose my balance because of this. So typical days in Olympiacos is something that we're looking to find, but we don't. Don't have typical days. We have days with with energy, days with passion, and every day is different. Every day is different, and it depends from the scores, from the matches, from the results. It has to do with everything. But I tell you again, I think that we have a big difference with the other clubs in Greece, especially the big clubs. You know, the people are coming, they change, the people in the clubs. I told you, 13 years old, I speak with everybody, with all the clubs. I know them very well. I saw many changes in the clubs. We stay the same people in the club. After every match, there is something that Mr. Marinakis asked from us from the beginning, from 2011. After every match, the people that they are in administration having a role, I mean, you know, someone who's doing things for the club, the people of the first team, every time after a match in Karaiskaki, we go in the restaurant of Karaiskaki and we stay there together and we speak. No matter if we lose, no matter if we win. For us, it's the same. Of course, when we lose, I told you before, we are alone. When we win, you know, celebrations, blah, blah, everybody's here. They want to take something from the win. But I think this is very important for us because we are like this. You know, I see what is happening to the other clubs. I don't want to say because it's not my job, but I want to say to the fans of Olympiacos that it's very, very important. And when we say that we are family, when we say we are a family, we mean we are a family. Okay, because in the family sometimes you say, you know, you have a problem. Okay, we discuss and we find a solution. But in the end of the day, we love each other and we support each other. And this is very, very, very important. And when we have a bad result, we are together, you know, because we have the same kitman for years, the same chef for years, the same masseurs for years, the same people for many years. So when you see someone that you are together in difficulties, in rain, in snow, whatever, sometimes they say to me, I have my friends, they are lawyers, they are doctors. Now I told you, I am 53. So all my friends are in the best years of their careers. You understand? If they are doctors, if they are lawyers, they're in a very good point. So they told me, Costa, come on, stop. What is this? You go in the stadium like Leoforos, for example, and you always have a fight. You always have something. What is the problem with you? You're coming back home and you read Plato after, and nobody knows this. But your image, I said to them, guys, did you ever think that when I do this, I take the pressure and the center of the pressure from my team? Have you ever think in your mind that this guy maybe takes all the pressure of the stands because the coach and the players must not take this pressure, or even for security reasons? Of course, okay, if the referee is, you know, I cannot hold myself back. No, but the thing is that everybody is loving this club and everybody must give to this club. You remember, I think JFK was the one who said this. Don't ask what your country does do for you, or ask what you do for your country.
For your country.
This is the same. This is the same for the club that you love, because when you say that you love a club, that makes you a supporter, and this is the meaning of the word. So please support the club in difficult times more. What I say all the time. This was what I say for basketball when they have a bad period. For all the sports in Olympiacos, because there have been times that everybody was against us. Everybody was against us. If you don't live in Greece, it's very difficult to understand what I'm saying. You must not. You don't understand, and you must not understand because it's not something normal. You cannot understand if you live, for example, in Germany. How is this possible that the Minister of Sports changes the linesman of the match? This is not normal, but it happened in against Olympiacos in a final. Or you cannot imagine that someone decides to play a final of the Cup in September with an old roster. It's not normal. It's something that I cannot. They ask me all the time when I go abroad. They ask me all the time when we play with a team. We have lunches before, we have dinners before, and we have discussions. And they ask, "How is this possible?" You know what I say to them? This is possible, but it's okay. We're a nice country. We do good things. Look, Olympiacos. They say to us in Nyon when we went to the youth league final. We could not believe that this is a quick club. You're very well organized. You have everything in the club and all that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, what do you think what we are? We have to be a club that signs not only for Olympiacos, but for Greece also. And I think we do this. And I hope not everybody will do this. I really do.
And I guess that leads to one of our first questions. The title, the European title this year came. This has been a difficult period for everyone at Olympiacos. I think after the Maccabi defeat and coming here, can you explain? Basically, has this been one of the most difficult times?
Let's be real. Who can explain this?
It's just crazy, though, right? What we've lived the past 2.5 years.
If someone would say, let's say, the 4th of January. Not before Christmas, the 4th of January. About this, you say, come on, my friend, I have my problems. I stop now.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll tell him, come on. We have a lot of things to do now. But what is the break point? Let's say, what is the turn point? Before Christmas, we had a discussion, and Mr. Marinakis said, nothing is lost. I will change all the team. But how can you change all this team in the January? I will. And I will not hear nobody. I will bring good players. I will change the coach again if it's necessary. And I'm going for the title. And wherever we go in Europe, I would say, yes, maybe we start to plan about the next season. No, there's no next season. We'll fight for this season. So when you say you have someone leading this club and give you this sign, everybody has to go with his pace and start to do the same. So, no, we fight until the end. We'll try to change it. And you remember what happened there? The first thing with Juan Car. This is where the change first. Our hopes from the league title. I think we lost a lot of hope there because it was something crazy. I can speak 2 hours about that night only. I couldn't believe what happened that night. I couldn't believe this. But what you have to keep is that when this player went to the hospital, the doctors that they were on duty that night, they said to him, go home. It's okay. And a doctor came with another doctor, a director of the clinic, and put the doctors out that they were on duty. And they gave another exam to the player and kept him in the hospital. The doctor was the personal doctor of Mr. Alafouzos, the president of Panathinaikos. This is sick. And what happened? The guy with the big ear left Panathinaikos like he was never here. You saw what happened because karma is karma. So, bottom line, it was a crazy, crazy year, but I think the turn point was Christmas, and after, of course, the second game against Maccabi.
Yeah.
Also,
can I ask you something as well? Because sometimes you read in the English media now that Mr. Marinakis has the club there that they say he fires coaches too often, he changes managers, doesn't give them time. But sometimes it feels like he understands really quick if they're going to click or if they're not going to work. Like with Mr. Carvajal, it maybe after a month or two, he seems like a nice man. He seems to know football, but maybe it wasn't the right fit. And he's not afraid to make. Can you talk about that? Because I think the criticism he gets over and over again is he changes the manager too quick. This is not a way to run football. Can you just talk about that?
I am lucky to see in person many choices of Mr. Marinakis. That when he said to us something, we were about what? But no, this is what we're gonna do. I think it's not out of luck that this guy is very successful in whatever he does. In a shipping company, in media, in football, it seems that he's very capable and he doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to make a step back. It's not in his character. And you cannot believe how many hours every day he works. I doubt if he sleeps. And when someone is so passionate with something like Olympiacos, because imagine that you are a kid and your father that you love him so much is walking you to the dressing room of Olympiacos every day, speak you about the Olympiacos, that Olympiacos is an idea, that you have to love Olympiacos and to give to Olympiacos everything. And after many years, you became the leader of Olympiacos. For in your heart, in your soul, this is something different. It's not that suddenly you buy a team to as a project, as a football project. It's a different thing. This is a thing that has to do with heart and feelings. So, in the case of Mr. Carvajal is a great guy. He was in the final also with us, as you saw. So I think that Mr. Carvajal himself also understood that it was not the time for him in Olympiacos. Something was not working, you understand?
Yeah.
And I appreciate the guys that they do this and they respect the club. He was very nice with the club from the beginning to the end, and he will be the friend of the club for years because he's a very nice person. I like him very much. I think that Medilibar was a great choice because he fits to the club absolutely. He's like Ernesto. The behavior is like Valverde. The way that he sees things, it's like Valverde. And of course, Ernesto was very warm with his proposal about Mendilibar and said the best things to us about him. And of course, he said to us, take care of him. He's a very nice guy and you're very crazy. So please, please. He's a very nice and serious guy. So please, guys, you're a little bit crazy. Don't make him crazy. Okay, we'll try to do our best. But this is how history is written by people and by clubs and by everybody. But Mr. Medilibar came to the dressing room, and from the first day, he saw something else. Also, Darko helped a lot. Because what we wanted, we said, what is happening here? We have a result 2-2 with Batska Topola, and our coach is saying, okay, it's a draw. It's not a lose. It's not a lose. We didn't lose. What?
Yeah.
What? We went in this village in Serbia, and the horses passing by our bus. So what the fuck are you saying? The horses are passing by the bus of the team. We had to win. No. After you think, maybe it's not what we want. So you see two people coming, and with Christian Karembeu, of course, who is, what's the personality of Christian and his soul and his mind is absolutely, it's something else. It's a different level, I think. So Christian Karembeu, Darko Kovacevic, and Mr. Medilibar came to the dressing room, and something said, hey, we are Olympiacos again. We are Olympiacos again. This is what I felt. This is what I felt. And After it was the match against Maccabi. In the night we lost in Karaiskaki from Maccabi. It was one of the nights that I told you before. We were alone in the restaurant, and the agent of Mr. Medilibar, Mr. Iñaki Bañez, came to see the match and stay after to have a dinner with the coach and all that. And Mr. Marinaki said to him, "Come here." They spoke 5 minutes, I think. And after he stood up, he came to us and said, we have a new contract with the coach for next year today, and it's official. Everybody was like this. Tonight that we lost 1-4. Yes, tonight. Everybody must take the message. This guy will lead us. So I don't care about 1-4. I don't care. Imagine what happened after this in the dressing room. Everybody was like this, the coach. And when we went to Novi Sad to play against the Maccabi, in Novi Sad there are two hotels. One big hotel and the second not so big. But because Novi Sad was the home city of Maccabi because of the war, Maccabi was already in the big hotel. So we went to the second hotel. And because of the rooms were not so much, UEFA gave permission to some people from Olympiacos to live in the hotel of Maccabi. So I choose to be one of them, to stay in Maccabi hotel, to see what is happening. You cannot believe the arrogance and the way that they were treating. The only guy who was a little bit concerned about the match was the coach of Maccabi. He was a little bit crazy, and he's coming in Greece many times. He said to me, "Kostas, look to these guys. They're celebrating, but we're not in the next round yet." I said to him, "Yes, he's Irish, I think. Yeah. We're not in the second round yet. Yes, we're not in the next round, but we have many possibilities, and maybe that's why they're celebrating, and that's why." And I was saying in my mind, okay, celebrate, and let's score a goal in the beginning, and then we see how you celebrate. So after the owner of Maccabi came, he came from Canada. He had a flight to Novi Sad to be there in the big celebration of Maccabi. He said to me, difficult match for you tomorrow. I said to him, yes, but football is sport, so everything can happen. If you ask me if I could ever believe that it could happen, no. But I wanted just to win, because of this arrogance and this behavior. I want just to win, to make this a little bit bitter for them. But when we scored the first goal, and when I saw Fortounis going like a horse in the second goal and made it 0-2, I said, what is going on? And in the next box, it was the owner of the Maccabi with 8 ladies from Canada who couldn't understand what's happening in the pitch. They were like, they didn't understand what they were seeing. It was about theater or something. And they were asking him, what is happening now? Please. The owner was crazy. Please stop asking me what is happening. And I was saying to him, let's score a third goal. I will tell you what will happen now. And of course, when the third goal was scored, I was sure that we were going to pass. Sure. I said, whatever happens, even when they scored the goal from the penalty, I said, no way we will pass. We're far better. Psychologically, we had them. So, and this was a 10 point also. What I did now.
I think you stopped your camera by accident. If you go down, you can activate your video again. There you are.
Hope I have to take my beard again. What is this, my friend?
There've been quite a few comments about lack of beard, Costa, and some of them
like it.
Some are saying you look, much younger, like a 20-year-old again. Some are saying bring the beard back.
My friend, I'm looking like a basketball. What 20 years? Are you crazy? but you have to know, everybody, we never buy things via internet, especially if it's from Brazil, for example, as a beard, something, shampoo from Amazon, and all that. So, I don't know what this Guaranagura is. This I'll never buy it again.
You guys, there's all these celebrity barbers now in Greece, in Glyfada or whatever. Surely they can set you up maybe in the future.
I know one. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Pavlos. He has 2 barber shops, one in Piraeus, one in Glyfada.
Yeah.
He's my personal barber for many years, and if he's watching the show because he likes the show, now he will be like this, fainted, because I didn't tell him about now he will be. But okay, we have to check everything now when we buy via internet. And I do this because I live alone, and I don't go to the shops and all that. I buy everything
Online.
via internet. So I know that I have to be careful, but okay, sometimes
Fair.
you never know.
Can I just
thanks guys. Thanks guys, you are very good at saying live. Thank you.
Costa, I have a question. Just around the Maccabi game, you explained what was going on after the loss at Karaiskaki, and we've heard that from you. We also saw that a player, Orta, Yorgos Mourtzanos is bringing this up. Orta made some comments to the press. He said he went to their dressing room and he said, "Hey guys, the game's not over. We still have another game to."
To the players and the coach of Maccabi, yes.
But what was? I mean, obviously we lost 4-1 at home, and what's the mood like in the dressing room after that, and how is the manager dealing with it? Like you said,
after this was a disaster. Okay, everybody was very, very sorry, but we didn't have much time to think about it. We had games, so the days were, I think, we played the next week, I think, after some days, I think. Yeah. So it was very, very quick. I think from the day after, what we said is, okay, let's go and win. And we'll see. We need the points. We need the victory for the UEFA ranking and for Olympiacos. Let's do this, and you never know. Of course, imagine that it was the first time in the history of European Cups that someone is coming back from 1-4 in his stadium. The first time in the history of European Cups. So this year was the first time in the history that we score like this is vanished in the second leg, and someone is making this unbelievable thing. The first time that the Greek team wins a UEFA trophy in club level, of course, and also the first time in history that a club has 2 trophies, the Youth League title, which is the Champions League of the youth, which is also a miracle, imagine. And also let's put in our thoughts that we took out Milan, Inter, Bayern, clubs that they're giants of the European football. And they had players in the first 11 that they play in the first team. They go to the delegate of the first team many times, Bayern and Inter and Milan. So, and not only Italians or only Germans. They had Croatians, they had guys from Africa. We had only Greeks in the team.
Right.
But they're very good. And I think that 5 or 6 of these champions of the Youth League, they will come with us in the pre-season. So they'll take a chance from Mr. Meredilibar to make the next step and to help the first team also, of course, with the right steps, not to make the kids crazy, because this is a mistake that we do in Greece. We say we're a very good player and start to treat him like he's Messi. And then the boys are getting crazy also. And we don't do this in Olympiacos. One day, one agent came to my office and he said, very, very important to see you. I said, yes. Tell me. because we don't want agents to go to rent it to the training center. They never go there. It's something that we said, you never go. You come to the office. And if someone from Rendy wants to meet an agent, he will come to the office in the headquarters of the football club, not in the training center. The training center is a castle. Nobody gets in, only trainers and the boys and the athletes and the football players, nobody else. These are strange things, what I say, but this is the secrets of success, I think, in football clubs. You know, to have something protected of this world, from this world of agents and all that. So he came and said to me, Kostas, listen, I have a proposal for a guy, for our player, from Juventus. I said, who is the player? You know, I cannot know all the names of the academy. He told me a name. I knew the boy. He was a very good player, 15 years old. And he said to me, Juventus wants the player and he gives him 400,000 euros per year. I said, for whom? For the 15 years old boy? Yes. Okay, wait. And I took my phone and I said to my PA, hey, Maria, please find an aeroplane ticket for Italy, for Turin, for the agent and the player. Okay, and tell me. He said to me, what are you doing? I booked you the flight. Go. Good luck. If you're going to take 400, good luck. You don't need nothing. But like this, yes, like this. Take the boy and go. Because, you know, I cannot put, I don't give the permission to some people to think that they can play with Olympiacos. Nobody can play. Because the most important thing is the badge.
Right.
Okay? I don't care about the names. The names becoming bigger and brighter when the badge is getting glory. So first, give us the glory, and then we'll speak about your name. And after, you have cases like Danny, like other players that they're giving fight. They're fighting to stay to Olympiacos, to come to Olympiacos in the first place. And you respect them. And this is why these people are getting the love of the fans, because the fans understand.
Kostas, since you brought it up, you brought a little bit about a comment that a lot of the audience in the diaspora talks about with Greek youth and how sometimes they can get propped up. Actually, really quick before I ask my question, everybody that's tuning in right now, not surprised, we do have an audience record here, almost 1,500 active audience tuning in, with even more that have passed through the show. So take a quick second and hit the like button.
How many are from Hawaii?
Not enough. I'll make some calls. Maybe we'll get one or two.
So hit that like button. Every engagement helps us grow the red and white community. And Kostas, I just wanted to ask, because while we're on the topic of discussing the youth, so you brought up how sometimes in Greece we can when there's a good player, we hype them up too quickly, we treat them like Messi. But have you noticed, because you've been at the club a very long time now behind the scenes, have you noticed a mentality change with the Greek youth? Because we have been told by players, former players that do coaching and train Greek kids in Greece, that they see a huge mentality problem with the players in Greece as well. Is there a mix of both of this that impacts the player development in Greece?
The thing is that in Greece, the agents that they start to look this the young boys in ages of 10, 12, 14 are not professionals like in countries like in England, in Italy, in Germany, in Portugal. So the only thing they want is to take a kid that they see that he is a very good player and make money. This is not football. This is not grassroots. This is not something that you can work with. I think that the last 5-6 years, the things are better because, first of all, in our academy, what we're trying to do is to make, first of all, better persons, better students, better personalities, and in the end, better players. Because if you are chosen from the Academy of Olympiacos, for sure you have talent.
Right.
We see 10, 15,000 kids every year, and we take 10, they have something. But after, there's a lot of work around the character. And I will bring you an example. Panagiotis Retsos. Panagiotis Retsos was in the club since he was 10. When he was 18, he started to play with Mr. Bento. He played defensive midfielder, he played right back, he played center back, he played everything. In 6 months, in Olympiacos, we had the proposal from Leverkusen, as you remember. When Leverkusen came to Athens, Mr. Rudi Feller, I think everybody knows who Rudi Feller is. If someone is that doesn't know, he's a legend of German football and a legend for Bayer Leverkusen. And he was at the time, I think, vice president or something. And he came to Greece to speak with a boy. And he made a reservation in a nice fish restaurant in Mikrolimano in Piraeus. And he invited Panagiotis and his father. And they went there. When they went there, they saw that Olympiacos was not in the table. And you know what Panagiotis said? He was 18 years old. Where is Olympiacos? And Rudi Feller said, what? We will speak and after we go to Olympiacos. No, sorry, Mr. Feller. I don't speak if Olympiacos is not here. And he left. This cost some millions to Bayer Leverkusen because Mr. Marinakis knew about it. And this made a better contract for Panagiotis because Mr. Marinakis took it personally. Said, okay, Panagiotis, very good move for you. You show the respect to the club. Now wait, because you get a better contract and we'll take more money from this transfer. We'll make them see how things work. And it was, I think, the most expensive transfer of Greek player at the time. Now Panagiotis came back. He's playing. Since he was 10, his behavior is the same. He respects the club. He loves the club. He's a nice guy. And this is the model. You understand? Everybody will make mistakes. Everybody will be bad or good player. Everybody will give. Everybody will take. But the first thing is to respect where you are and to love Olympiacos. And after, we discuss everything. But for us, you cannot come and think you are better than Olympiacos or bigger. And I have some examples. Because, for example, James is a great player. A great player. But he thought he was better and bigger than Real Madrid. He thought he was better and bigger than Bayern Munich. He thought he was better and bigger than Olympiacos. And look at his career. All this talent. Okay. The millions are many in the bank, so who cares? Someone might say. But we speak about football. I know that it's strange that I'm saying these things, but this is truth. And sometimes we have to explain and say the truth. And because I know that the topic that is very hot tonight is, hey, the players will stay or not.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tell you this, we are making a great effort. I believe that it's an effort that in numbers is not Greek. It's out of the limits of Greece, giving many, many millions for the players to stay. But I want to be clear to everybody. If a team comes and offers 5 million net to a player of Olympiacos, you cannot keep the player.
Right.
It's very clear.
It's good. It's good you say this though, because it seems like some people
Guys,
don't.
we don't have to say all the time games and I'm tired. This is very clear. If someone is giving to a player 5 million net, the player will go there. You cannot keep him. And Olympiacos cannot pay 5 million net per year in a player because we don't have the size. in our in our club to pay this money. Because if we do this and we give this money to keep one player for 1 year or for 2 years, after in 10 years Olympiacos will not be here.
Yeah.
And we'll take guys that don't pay. Now we know that Olympiacos will have a growth. We know that Olympiacos is very strong. We know that Olympiacos is gave the last year 100 millions to Greek state for taxes. 100 million.
Wow.
Millions. And for example, I think that now is 11:30. Every time, the last 3 years, Mr. Marinakis is putting money, so the shares of the company will be okay. Why? Because of the financial fair play.
Right.
When you take some money, and the people must understand this, when your income is 10, you cannot spend 30 in football. So we change all the time the shares of the company. Who is doing this? Mr. Marinakis. The last 3 years, Mr. Marinakis put from his own money, because he's the only one who does this, nobody else helps in this, more than 60 millions. 60 in 3 years, in the last 3 years. So let's be honest. If someone came tomorrow from Arabia or from Dubai or from Qatar and say, hey, I give you 5 net to someone, this is not something that happened. Don't be okay. Don't be. I am saying that as an example. We don't have
Okay.
Because all the time I see your mind working like trying to find the.
Getting worried, right?
You think I'm speaking about someone? Huh? No. It's just an example. I'm trying to see if we cannot compete in this level.
Right.
But Kostas, one thing Adi has done, because he's a bit of an accountant over here, has talked a lot about.
I saw him. I saw his mouth spinning and saying,
no, but
who is this guy with the 5 million?
No, but Adi, goes on our social media, makes Instagram posts, tweets, comes on this podcast, and talks a lot about the accounting of football. Because it seems like in the media in Greece, it's not covered at all.
Yes,
like
covered.
Financial fair play.
That's why the fans that don't understand something very normal.
Yeah.
They say they put it in their pockets, my friend. Go and read. Read these official papers. Right. Read what we pay, what we take, what we give.
And it gets harder this year because the squad ratio started. So now Olympiacos can only spend 80% of revenues on wages. So everything gets harder. You can't loan as many players anymore. There's limits on all of this. So even if President Marinakis
speak more about this, eh?
I listen.
We do.
I
talks a lot about
this all the time because
this
people will yell at me.
This is something that the journalists in Greece, they don't understand, and they don't present it to the people.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for a lot of people to understand because, like, look at how you do a deal with a player, right? If you ask anybody, they'll say, okay, player came in, you gave him money, and he signs in. They don't realize also, hey, we have to talk about installments with the player. We have to talk about players' rights in many cases, which can be very difficult. We have to talk about the depreciation of the transfer fee, right? There's
the commission,
the commissions,
which is almost every time the greatest problem in transfer.
Right.
There's all these middlemen in football as well. There's all these middlemen who are like agents, family, make the deal happen smoother, whatever.
Try to make a transfer from Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll find 2 buses with people. Call me, hey, I'm representing this guy. But who are you, my friend? Who are you? I'm his uncle. So bad. You have an official paper, something that says that you represent the boy. No, but I'm his uncle. Okay, my friend. Please, I'll put you in the list of the 35 relatives. Okay. But okay, I understand that people don't understand this, but I don't understand the people that they say that someone is taking money for a company like Olympiacos, from a club like Olympiacos in football, And I don't like to say company because, for me it's shivering to say company for Olympiacos. But for a club, for a football club, it's funny to say that they take money, the owners, because it's clear what you give and what you take. And it's not only clear, we have the problem with taxes also. The taxes were reduced in Greece because of COVID. Before we had 40. So when we pay 1 million for a player, we played 1.5 million. And in Turkey, they pay 1 million. They pay 1 million. So you pay the same money, but you understand, Ari, you pay 50% more in reality.
And you had to pay a fee also to EPO, right? Every transfer was like 5% of the fee went to EPO, which got reduced.
Of course, which is something that the federation decided herself. So, we do this 5. No law, no nothing about this. And now we reduced it. We tried to reduce it like we did with the TV rights also. Millions and millions. Why? To do what the federation is doing in Greece.
Right. And what do they give back?
Imagine that they have 60 millions every year, and the 35 are from professional football. So we give 35 million every year in the federation, and the federation decides to play the final with the old roster on September. Or 5 years now, they play the final without fans. Is there a stadium without fans? And I say these things, Kostas is bad, Kostas is having a problem with the federation. Yes, I have. Because first of all, they don't love football. Second, they are fighting Olympiacos, so who is fighting Olympiacos is my enemy, for sure. I don't say lies. And third, they don't have to do with football, these people. They're doing a different job. They are trying to make money out of football. They are not people that they love football or they make a real career in football, you understand? I could understand this. But no, what they do is, we call them in Greece dalaverigides, dalaveri. To put this one there, to speak, to take money. I hope that this will change now. I hope.
For people who live abroad, like we have Olympiacos fans who understand, but can you explain just like what this is and how it blocks Olympiacos and let's be honest, like other Greek teams have issues with them as well. Like I know also the national team has wanted a training center or a stadium. Gus Poyet gave an interview to Betarades where he talks about it.
That's what he said. He called me.
And he had no problems with Olympiacos, he said as well.
He said, Kostas, I want to make a training in Olympiacos stadium. I said, of course, Gus, come. But I don't want to make you sorry, but when you call and say this to federation, they will tell you no. I said, no, it's on me. I will do it. I will make After 1 hour, he called me and said, Kostas, sorry, you were right. It's the truth. He said it in the interview, I think.
He did. He said it.
Olympiacos and you want an example? I will tell you an example. How many guys from the champions of Europe, they are playing in under 20 national team?
Just one, I think, right?
You want
and
more
off the bench too.
You want more examples? I think this says everything. So I'm very sorry about this. I think it's not right.
And what's just
I believe that the federation must work like the press office for media. What is the work of the press office in a club? To make the media make their job better. I believe that the Federation of Football must work with the clubs, with the Super League, to make football a better place. If they do this, they have more income for the federation. They will be a better federation in every level, better national team, better pitches all over Greece, better amateur football, everything. Everything will be better. But they don't do this. You know why? Because they don't care about the federation. They don't care about the football. They care to be a good client of the people that they put them there. This is the truth. Now, even with starting from the final, from the trophy of Olympiacos, let's make football a better place. Let's change direction. Let's leave finals in Europe like other teams. I cannot stand to be in the 15th position because of Olympiacos, because in reality we were in 20 or 21. Why? Because the Greek teams are saying goodbye in summer against teams like Kolo Kovalivka and something I don't know. I don't even know. I know every club around the world because I'm crazy and I like this. But even me, I find teams that I don't know, and the Greek teams are getting out from this. It's not normal. So this is an opportunity. Everything is changing now in the federation. I believe and I hope, because I never know. I can swear only for me, and I can take only for me the Olympiacos, of course. But I believe that we will live better days for Greek football.
Can we?
What we want. A real good head of referees.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who is coming from UEFA straight.
Mm-hmm.
We want someone that nobody knows. Nobody. And he will appoint the referees in a status of justice. Not saying we have the head of the Greek referees is a Swedish guy, Mr. Fjorfeld, who's living in a van in Sweden, and because he has a problem with his van, he will come after 2 months. Sorry, but the league will start in 10 days. How the head of the referees can come in 2 months, or because he has a problem with his camping van and whatever he is. No, it's okay. He will call. The guy don't even know who are the referees in Greece. But there's a Greek guy, Mr. Mandalos, who made all the appointments. So this is sick. Now we have to change this. We gave fights alone to change this. We show many people to say, okay, Olympiacos is right, but it's Olympiacos. We have to fight him. But yes, but we say what is truth. And now they start to say there is alliance of PAOK and Olympiacos. No, there's no alliance. What there is that the people, they put money, and they don't want to be ridiculous. We put our money, we are real owners, and we want football to go in the future. We don't want this. One day I went to the federation. Guys that they're now in second generation in US or in Germany or in England, they will be like this. With what will I say? So I went to the federation one day. I went inside. I have a very nice temper and I'm very polite to everybody and they love me. So I came to the federation. And there was a guy from a football union in Peloponnese. He was having how we say it, a sponge and water, and he was cleaning his car. I was looking at him. I said, what are you doing here? Go give €5 in a somewhere to clean your car, my friend. This is the federation. What are you doing? In the entrance of the federation. Just to take the water from federation and clean your car. No. I'm not cleaning my car. What are you doing? You're testing the sponge and the water? And he left, and I was saying, what these people have to do with football? What they have to do with football? Or guys that they were in politics, what they have to do with football? And come and say blue, and crazy things. But now I hope that this will change.
And there was Zagorakis was there for like 3 months, and he left.
And he ran away.
He ran away
faster than when he was player.
A guy who knows football. A guy.
Don't laugh. This is the truth, my friend. When you saw what happened there, not even when he was trying to be with Zidane in the same pitch, he did that too fast.
But we wanted to also ask you, about Greek football, and they do this. We noticed with Maccabi, this mandate of Israeli players, but a mandate of Greek players, because you watch teams like Aris or Asteras Tripoli, and you would have no idea this is a Greek team. Like, do you think this is a good idea? say, like, let's have 3 Greek players, let's have 4 Greek players in the starting 11, or is
We
that
did
something
this,
Olympiacos would be
we
behind?
did this 2 years before, but when you do this after, you have a problem with the laws or the European laws. So the federation must not say, for example, you have 5 players in the first 11. You cannot do this.
Okay.
Because after you have a problem with the European Union. For example, in Turkey they do this.
Yeah.
You know, you have a number of Turkish players that have to play, but they're in Turkey. So, of course, what I believe is that we have very good young players. And I believe that we have to put these players in the first teams, to take some games, to take some minutes. And you said this before, Aris. I believe that the people, the fans, can be, how can I say, they love these boys. You understand? And they want to see these boys playing for Olympiacos. Because in my heart, in my eyes, when I saw the games of the youth team, what you saw, what I saw was Olympiacos. Didn't you feel,
yeah.
this is the blood, this is our blood, this is the passion, the way they played, the way they gave everything, their eyes, the way they celebrate. This is what you want to see for Olympiacos. So you are dreaming, if I can take this from this level and put it in the first team, I have the spirit.
Costa, we interviewed Par Zetterberg a couple of years ago, and I remember we had this discussion with him about integration of youth. You know, like the Scandinavian countries in Denmark, in Norway, in Sweden, they do a great job. You look at Copenhagen the last few years, or Bode Glimt in Norway more recently, how many domestic players they have. I will never forget one of the comments he made to us about transfer policy in general. He said, you know, first we always prioritize the players that we have here domestically that are coming through the club, and we only sign someone if we think they're 5 times, 6 times, 10 times better than what we have here. Yeah. With what's just happened with winning the youth league, the Champions League of, you know, that age group, do you think it's finally like time that we see more players coming out from the youth? Of course, it's you can never be sure the jump, because from youth level straight to the first team of Olympiacos, all the pressure, there's nothing in between. And sometimes, you know, some of those players, they might not even make it professional. It's just fact. Like, you look at the numbers.
Right. It's happening worldwide. It's not only in Olympiacos.
Exactly. But like, how has that achievement like resonated with the management, like inside Olympiacos, in terms of prioritizing youth?
First of all, we have something that it never happened again in the club's history. So we have a proof that this generation is a great generation, big talents, because, you know, sometimes they say, the people that they are specialists, that you have a good generation every 5 years in the clubs. This is the, let's say, the rhythm of the big talents. Every 5 years you have a good team with many talents. Of course, when you have 2 or 3 very, very good players in a team, the team gets better, the others get better. This is football. In this generation, we have 5 or 6 kids that we know them for years now. We don't know them from youth league. I have to say to you that after a decision of Mr. Marinakis, the summer before, he said to me, Kostas, let's make a discussion about the boys. Mr. Anigo was also there, Mr. Benedette. Said, Kostas, I want these boys to be in Olympiacos for years. So, as you know, in a minor, you can only do 3 years a contract, not more. So we took the 5 diamonds of our Corona, to say a word from money from my place, and we renew the contracts the last summer before the youth league. So now everybody knows these boys, and they think that they are ready to play in the first team. They are not ready to play in the first team, but they have the talent, the skills, and the capacity to take time in the first team and to make some trainings. And I think that the view that Mr. Mendilibar has about them, it's the best, because he says, give them to me 2 times per week, 3 times per week, give them step by step in the first team. Because if you say these boys go to the first team, first of all, you put all the pressure to them, and second, imagine that the best striker in the youth league all over the year, of course, I wanted from him more goals in the semi-final and the final. I'm speaking about Haralambos Kostoulas, is not 17 years old.
Right.
So he was playing in under 17, under 19, in B team of Olympiacos, in youth league. He was first scorer in all these categories, but he's not ready to play in the first team, but he can take some minutes. So instead of having a third striker who is a 30-year-old guy from Egypt that can play 2 times in a year, I will put Haralambos Kostoulas to play. Or even more. Because you see the talent. The talent is the first European level talent. So all these boys, they deserve to take the chances. They deserve to take the time. They deserve to train with the first team, and they will. And I told you something before. For us, it's very important for the blood of Olympiacos, because you have to put in the body of Olympiacos this blood that we made it, that they love the club, they play with passion, because we have, and I'm very, very, very happy because I saw it in this team in the end of the season, to put the Olympiacos DNA in our bodies, which is the passion. Since the birth of the club, this was the main characteristic. To play, to give everything, to play with passion, give everything. How many players we loved in the past, but they were not technically good, but we loved them because we saw them fighting, gave everything. Remember that game? I don't know if Lambros remembers, because I think Lambros is the younger here in the company.
Yes.
There was a game, Olympiacos Chelsea in Karaiskaki.
I was there, 0-0.
You remember the draw? You remember Pandos? You remember Pandos?
Of course.
Tassos was playing like a top Champions League level. Because why? Because of the passion of himself. He gave everything, and the stands were making the difference. It was like everybody was defending, like the last minutes in Nea Philadelphia. And I saw someone I know who is Panathinaikos fan yesterday, because the truth is I don't have friends that are Panathinaikos. Maybe one, but not so close. They cannot stand me. So, because I still believe that Katsouranis was offside that day. So, but I saw someone yesterday and said to me, "Hey, they told me that I have someone who is working in Nike Stadium, and he told me that Fiorentina had better stands. They were louder, they were better, they were." I said, "Yeah, of course." What do you mean, of course? Of course they were. So why? Because we were approaching heart attack in the other side. We were all like this. We couldn't breathe. We were like robots. If you see the people, we're having 400 pulse. Am I right, guys? You were in the stadium.
It's true. Like I was
Kostas' face.
I was sitting on the right side. I wasn't with the Olympiacos fans. I had a ticket from UEFA, and the Fiorentina fans were to my right. So it was definitely something I was thinking in the first half. I was looking towards the Olympiacos fans, and I was texting Labros like, "Man, tell them to fucking wake up! Like they're louder than us. Like what the hell is going on? This shouldn't be happening." But yeah,
someone called me also in the halftime. I don't want to say who, but you understand. What is happening with the fans? They don't celebrate. Please speak to the fans. Speak to the I said, this is not the problem that I speak. It's something that we are ready to and in the end, guys,
the anxiety.
in the end, okay, I'm not saying about the VAR seconds. We were waiting, okay.
No.
Because I was trying in the bench to calm everybody, so I was not in that. But in the end, after they lost that thing in the end, their last chance at Fiorentina, and when we had, for example, 1 or 2 minutes, I really say to you guys, I thought I was hearing the seconds, like I was like this. And I said, now you're gonna have a heart attack or something for sure. And after Aston Villa, because I will tell you now a story that you like very much. Before the second match against Aston Villa, I was not sure that we were gonna pass. I was very, very stressed because I said if I thought the Maccabi game. And I said, now if they score, guys, they're running so fast, the wingers, if they score first, after we have to do this, then we have to draw. And after I said, okay, take your pills and don't think about, everything will go okay. And after we went to the stadium, and I was in a great pressure. I said to the doctor, 1 hour before the match, 1 hour and a half. The team is coming to the stadium 1 hour and a half before the match, in every match, all the teams, okay? 90 minutes before the match, you have to arrive to the stadium. This is the law in UEFA and in the domestic games. So when the team came, after 10 minutes, 1 hour and 20 minutes before the match, I said to the doctor, listen, because I want to go back to my home tonight celebrating, give me something, I don't know what, I have 400 pulses. I'm 500 kilos, so give me something because I have to be calm. I said, Kostas, what to give you now? We have the match. You have to be clear-minded. No, I'm not playing. Give me something. I'm going to die. And, I was in stress. So Mr. Medilibar came to the office. I have a small office in the dressing room, laughing with Marina, the translator, because Mr. Medilibar don't speak English, not even American like me. He said to me, what is the problem? I said, what's the problem? I'm waiting 53 years, 70, I lost the years, 53 years. I'm waiting for this. You ask me, what is the problem? Listen, we have a chant. We say, please, God, make this dream to become real, to play in a final. And you see, our chant is saying to play in the final, not to take a trophy, a European trophy. Understand what I'm saying? This is important. We think that the dream is to go there, to the final, not. And he said to me, Kostas, I will never forget this. Kostas, listen. They will make 3-4 good attacks in our goal post, but we win 1-0 or 2-0. And he left. I was like this. Then I went out, said, Doctor, give me the pill. Everybody will make me crazy here. So in the end of the match, because nobody gave me nothing, and in the end of the match, I was standing in a chair next to our bench. I couldn't move. I really believe that this atmosphere in the semi-final against Aston Villa was the best atmosphere in Karaiskaki I've seen in my life.
That's what I wanted to ask you. We have season ticket holders for years who said, I don't know what we lived tonight.
I told you, my first game was 1976. I never remember that kind of energy, that kind of ambient, that kind of, how can I say it, hype. This was unbelievable.
It was unreal.
I was crying. Everybody was, I say it was a kind of redemption, if I can use a word. Everybody was, took out everything he had. It was unbelievable. I was sitting. I couldn't move. It was emotional. I could not move. I just wanted to stay there and think about everything that happened. And Pascalakis came and said to me, Kostara, you want me to call the doctor? I said, what doctor? After I had an explosion. I asked him for a pill. But okay, this what happened was enough. Of course, the stress for the final, the stress for everything to go well. Because for me, we made 2 victories. 2. The first, we won the trophy. We made history. But we had another victory because 20,000 of our fans saw what means to be a man and to be someone who really respects. And he's great. And he understands that he's a supporter of a great club. And I'm not going to come to be a vandal or destroy the stadium as they thought. After, of course, they say bullshit about destroying 10 or 15 seats and 2, I don't know, things in the toilet or something like this, which is ridiculous. And Fiorentina stands, the damage was much, much more. But imagine the guys lived all this. This red and white river started from Piraeus going to Nea Philadelphia. 20,000 people, nothing happened. After all these years, all these hours of a torture, because it was a torture to stay in the sun, to wait in the like this, to go in the train, to go in the stadium, and even this, I'm very proud for the people that they've been there. I'm very, very proud for the Olympiacos fans that they've been there. They show to everybody that, guys, listen, this is our night. This is the night of our life. We came here to take the cup, we celebrate, and we leave. You know, this is what makes you proud. What it has nothing to do with us, the other things that they said. They come here, they break the city, they break the stadium. And I have to say that the people of AEK, that they work in the stadium, they were very cooperative with us. I have to be clear. And they said to us, okay, the federation mixed the things again because they gave the boxes of the stadium to all the other people, I don't know who. Olympiacos and Fiorentina didn't get anything. Of course, we changed this because we made the noise. UEFA, imagine that the UEFA people said to the federation, guys, this is a Greek team. If it was Fenerbahce, you would be more friendly. What is this? So, but at the end of the day, we are so happy. And you said before it's 1 month. It's 1 month, really. I feel like it's like yesterday. Everybody will feel the same. And I think that we deserve this. I mean, Olympiacos as an organization, as fans, I think the size of the club wanted the European trophy. And it was justice for us because we were very, 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 very unlucky in the past. And also, we had very, very good teams, but they were very, very, very unlucky. I remember myself as a journalist to travel with Olympiacos 20, 25 years before. We were in the flight to go somewhere, and we were asking each other how many goals we received. Now we can go everywhere and we say we go to win, everybody. This is important for me. For me, as Olympiacos fan in the beginning and after as someone from Olympiacos administration, because I believe this is important, that you don't afraid nobody. Say, go and win everywhere. Okay, we have to know where we live, because we cannot just like this to go and compete with Spain and England. In which else, in which other category we compete these countries? Where? So we have to think about this.
Right.
Many people ask me. They send me 1,000 messages in social media. I have now in my messages in Instagram, for example, 23,000 messages. How can I ask? How can I answer? I must stop everything and do only this. And answers like, when the cup will come in Arta, can you come in the bakery of Tassos? Okay, put some bread and I will come. My friend, this is not something that I can answer or do. But
Right.
many people ask me, Costa, why this, why that? I try to answer sometimes. To understand this.
Yeah, I saw some people asking when it was coming to Galimnos, so I saw that. I just saw that in the comments.
You're just
too.
saying that because you got family in
Kalimnos,
California.
in Kalimnos, I think is Aris also who has the gate 7. No,
They do have one there. They do
yes,
have.
I think it's Aris. Is the name the same with you? You have the same
Yeah.
name.
You have to
Yeah.
go ask Adi when you go in the summer.
So there. Well, I'll be in Greece in a week. So, but I won't be going to Galimnos this year.
Okay, so in Kalimnos we went. We were there before 10 years. There was a small island next to Kalimnos.
Delando.
What is the name?
Delado. That's what. It's right across from them.
No, not Delando. It's another name. I will remember this. That they had a problem with seawater all over the little village of fishermen, and they were destroyed. And they need Pserimos.
Pserimo, yes.
And Mr. Marinakis said to me, hey, listen, Kostas, we have to help the people in Pserimos. I said, okay, I will speak to the mayor. No. You not speak to nobody. Take a boat, a little boat, and go there. Where? To Pserimos. Okay, I go tomorrow. No, go. Okay. The next day, I went to Pserimos. The politicians came. All the guys come. I will tell you how Olympiacos will put the money to the municipality. No, it's not my order, my friend. Please don't. I go alone. How you go alone? I go alone. I take a small boat and I go to Pserimos. Why? Is a problem? Okay, so we put a flag of Olympiacos in a small boat, and we went with some friends of Kalimnos, the guys that they have the gate 7 there. And we went to the houses and we helped every family one by one, guys. And they said to us, I remember, for example, I don't want to say numbers, but for example, Olympiacos gave 40 times what the state gave to them.
Wow.
And they couldn't believe it. You could see old people saying, really? You speak really to us? You help us to make our house again? And these are the things that they were in your heart forever.
Yeah.
So I love Terimos.
But
I didn't know that story. That's incredible.
We've also spoken with Nikos Kavalas before and the work he does and the charity that Olympiacos does, and that's an episode we hope to do at some point to talk about Olympiacos in the community, because that's just a small thing. There's a lot of things that you all do. So
believe me, about the 90% of the things we do, nobody knows. And this is the order of Mr. Marinakis. When we publish something, is something that must be imitated from other people. We do this, we do something and we publish it, so the other people do it too, only for this purpose. I will tell you an example. When the first refugees came to Piraeus by 1,000, someone came and said, I'm very sorry. A friend of the club, a fan, nothing to do with the administration or the club, but he is one of us, like a family, as I told you before. Said, Kostas, what is happening to Piraeus is the same. What do you mean? There are people there, we're trying to, they give them food and all that. Yes, take this bag and look the food that they give to these people. I saw it was something like a frozen soup. Really, imagine something like frozen yogurt, but it was soup. I don't know what it was. What is this, my friend? This is what the European Union gives money to some, I don't know how they say it in English now, organizations, funds of humanitarian funds that some people have, and they take money from European Union and they make food to give to the refugees. So I went to Mr. Marinakis and I said to him, do you want to say something that you'll never forget? He said, yes, what? Look, what is this? This is what they give to the people to eat. I said, what? This thing? I said, yes. Okay. So I knew what was going to happen to me, but I couldn't leave it like this. He said to me, Kostas, from tomorrow, you organize 4 trucks. We go real food to the people from Olympiacos. All the kitchens in Kareskaki, all the kitchens in Redi were making food for 2 months. And every day, 4 big trucks went to Piraeus, and our people served the people. Of course, we served them hot food and real food, potatoes with chicken, meat. Of course, what happened? All the refugees left from the other spots that the organization gave food, and they came to Olympiacos. So one day, a guy came to me, what are you doing? What is this? You cannot be here. I said, what? He said, you are I was there by luck to control if everything was okay, one of the days. And I went in the right moment because the other guys, maybe they couldn't treat like I do, the other guys of Olympiacos, the employees. Of course, I told them, if there's any problem, you call me. Because I know what these people do and how they try to, to take money from everything. So a guy came and said, hey, this is not right what you do. I said, what is not right? That we offer food to thousands of people? No, it's not right because now everybody's coming to the food of Olympiacos and they don't take our food. So if they don't take your food, go and make real food to the people because they are not animals. And give them. The food that you prepare is shit, my friend. You understand? And he said to me, no, you don't have any. I said to him, okay, my friend, listen, the water of the sea is still cold. So don't stop this conversation now. We'll give food to whoever we want. Okay. Start to tell to the people that to stop, put money in their pockets and give real food to the people. And so many things like this every day, all these years. For example, only in UNICEF, all this, the thing that 60,000 kids get vaccinated and save their lives from Olympiacos, for me is 10 league titles, 12, 100. I know that 60,000 kids will live because of Olympiacos vaccination. This is important. This is something we published because we wanted everybody to say, do this. It's easy. Put some money there. It's more important. Other things, personal things, things of our community, and not only in Piraeus, all over Greece, we do it without, because, the people need things, but they have a dignity and they want this to be private. So,
under the radar.
Yeah.
Olympiacos, mes que un club.
Under the radar, like the new owner of Ike said about the transfers, and they took Pape. Under the radar. Everybody knew it.
There's so many questions in the chat. I think more than 2,500 people following right now. Guys, we can see your questions. As I said earlier, we did try and ask you to send questions before so that we can structure the interview. We can see your comments and questions. We are going to ask as many as we can throughout the course of this interview. The gentleman that we have with us is Kostas Karapapas, despite having no beard. Just want to let people know.
If I should take something like this for a fake one.
Fake beard.
I'm white now. So.
No, but we talked obviously about the Conference League, and one of the questions I wanted to ask you quite early on was, did winning the Conference League make it easier, or did it make it harder for us in terms of planning for next year, like squad, transfer business, Like, has it changed? It's changed the way agents look at us, other clubs. Like, so is it easier or is it harder after winning that?
It is easier for someone to come to Greece because he knows that he will come to a club that has a European trophy. It is harder to keep the players that you have because everybody wants them and they give them big offers. But of course, we do the same now. I told you before that we made offers that before some years, if you say that you give more than 10 or 12 million for a defender, they would say that you're crazy. There's no any club in Greece that ever paid this money for a defender. I'm speaking about Carmo, of course. But still, maybe they want more. Maybe they need 20. I don't know. For example, there are teams that they are in United Arab Emirates, in Saudi Arabia, that maybe they would never concern about players of Olympiacos. Now all the spotlight is on our players. So now if you take a player from Olympiacos, it's a big success. You say, yeah, take a player that... imagine Maccabi, let's say an example. Imagine Maccabi. He's the first scorer of European competition. He scored 30 goals in 45 games in a year. He's a guy that speaks Arabic, he speaks Turkish, he speaks English. I'm saying things that someone might not think, but I have to think as a club. So if this guy is not a hot name for an Arabian team or from a Qatar team to take him, or even Turkish team, who else would be like him? It's the number one target, for sure. They said to me, Fenerbahce wants El Kabi. Normal. Why not? El Kabi is better than the strikers that the Fenerbahce has now. So, normal. And if Fenerbahce and Mr. Koch can give a contract of 5 million, they give 14 to Mourinho, 14 per year, 14 million. How can you compete this?
Right.
How can you compete this? You make the best you can. You gave to Ayoub El Kabi what he is now as a club, and he knows it and respects it. And there's a good life for players in Greece. They like very much the way we live in Greece. All the players, all around the world. So for a guy to go to Arabia, if he's from Arabic nations, it's okay, it's a decision. For example, for a Greek guy, it's not an easy decision to go and live in Saudi Arabia. It's not, because, the guys are not alone. They have a family, they have kids, they think the schools, they think everything. Because as fans, the only thing they think is the money. It's not only the money.
Right.
And for example, if you go and take 10 million, you can take 6 or 7 and have a better life. So you put this in the in the scale, and you say after, okay, and then you will be in the European football. Everything is, but it is difficult to keep all these players. What I want to say to everybody is that we will do not only the best, we already passed the point of the very, very best for the players that we had in this team, because we want to maintain the players and to put better players also in positions that we had problems. For example, we already have a number 6, which is young and very strong, Stamenic. We'll take one more, I think, from Spain. So we're number 6, we are very covered. We have a very good right defender from Portugal also, Costinha, with Rodinei. We made a fantastic duo there in the right of the defense. We would like very much to have Carmo and someone like Carmo in the center backs. And we already have Panayotis and Doi and Abi. And if you see Abi in the training, is
Where did that come from?
I was looking
Wow.
that English guy that is playing in the national team. Gui has the name. I said, what is this, my
Okay.
friend? Take Abby tomorrow to play in the national team.
How did that come about, Costa? Like Nelson Abbey just came out of
This is
nowhere.
the scouting, because now our scouting is working a lot with Nottingham and Rio Ave as a complicated thing. It's branches that they all came in the same spot, and it depends of the cost of the characteristics of the players. And when they saw this kid, everybody knew that he was a top-level player. And I must say to you that we already have a proposal for him,
Oh wow.
and he didn't even play
I
yet.
believe it.
From England, of course, because they know the boy from the national teams and all that. But we don't give the player; we want to keep him. And I believe that we will see a lot of him in this season to come. It's normal, very, very good player. And so Mr. Medilibar says we want 22, 23 very good players and the 5 youngs. And this is it. No more, no the mistakes that we did the last years with 40 players and 42. All the coaches said, now take this, take this, take this. For example, we were saying that we have to keep Tiquinho, and they said, no, we have to take Abubakar Kamara. But Tiquinho is a very good player. No, Tiquinho left and he became... So the good teams must find a balance in the decisions. You know, the coach must be happy. The coach must take whatever he wants, especially if it's a kind of coach like Mr. Medilibar or Mr. Valverde, that they are a little bit of a manager and a little bit of a coach, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot give the club to nobody. The club must make some decisions club-wise. And it's not a decision of a season, of 2 seasons. Living all these years with Mr. Marinakis, I know that the decisions that he took, like Kostas Manolas, like Rafik Djibour, I'm saying about players that they came with everybody, he saying, but no, maybe not. We did, and it was good for the club. So I believe that you have to find the balance, and you have to maintain now the very good team that we have. You have to keep the team and the spirit. It's fantastic. So you put some things, but first of all, we have to see what is going to happen with the main cases, which is Carmo, Dani, and Elkabi, I think, the 3 first cases. And of course, it's Horta, it's Yorgos, it's Fortu, many cases open. But we have time this summer. This is good.
Yeah.
This is when I say we have time, we work on this.
Right.
Yeah.
Already since January, not now, but it's
Your
not
hand isn't forced,
like
I
this.
guess. Yeah.
What?
You're not forced to, like, sometimes you see Olympiacos, like when you have the qualifiers and you need a striker, you may not take the striker you wanted for sure, right? But
Imagine that the years before now we were in the precision.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
In these days we were in precision. I will never forget the precision that we played 6 friendly games in 7 matches with Mr. Martins.
Martins,
I love him a lot, but I couldn't understand this. Said, hey, we make a world record here. 6 matches in 7 days. What is this?
Yeah.
But okay, you know, you have to hear what they say, and then in the end, you say this is good. This is. At the end of the day, Spain won 4-1, I think. 3-1, 4-1.
3-1, 4-1. But I want to ask about...
You saw the tattoo?
It looks good.
Oh, it looks good.
I like it.
That's
a good one.
How long did that take?
6 hours, but I do all the tattoos in one. I cannot do 2 sessions.
Oh, okay.
and there was a girl around, she was 50 kilos. And he, are you in pain? So, no, I'm not, but we're not the same. So maybe you'll be in pain. I cannot promise you something.
But I want to ask about, as fans, at the end of Martins, and did we get a bit too complacent? We had this guy who was winning leagues, doing well in Europe, and we thought he can handle it. He has it. And it just ended so quick, and we were kind of shocked because Martins almost was something we hadn't seen at Olympiacos, where a manager stayed so long and was so consistent. Was it just the club was shocked by how it fell apart? And how could you explain that period,
I think that there were two periods of Martins. And I'm saying again that I'm speaking about a person I respect a lot and I love a lot. He's my friend.
Yeah.
As you know, he would be in the final also, but he was playing games. Pedro has two periods. The first period, even if we lost the league, as you saw, he stayed in the club. We were out in the cup for Lamia. We lost the league, but we said he's a good coach. We play nice. He's a nice person. We go with him. And he broke the record of staying in the bench of Olympiacos. But in the last months, the truth is that he wanted to change his role in the club, deciding for the transfers, deciding for everything. And what he did, we saw what happened.
Yeah.
This was not worked well, so it was I think it was one-way road. And sometimes when the glass is broken, you can never wait that it will be the same again. I will tell you a funny story with Pedro. When we signed Pepe, this Portuguese guy who is good player but very soft for Olympiacos, he cannot play for Olympiacos, but he's making good games now in Paphos in Cyprus, and a good guy. I went to his house and I said, hey, Pedro, this guy Pepe, he's very delicate, I don't know for Olympiacos he can go to our level to play. He said to me, Kostas, he's better than Guilherme. I said, don't speak, don't know football, go. And after I told him after 2-3 months, Guilherme.
Wow.
But sometimes, okay, the coaches must. Everybody's making mistakes. Everybody is is taking wrong decisions. But I told you, when you feel that the club cannot go like this, when you feel that the dressing room is not the same, when you feel that the choices are all wrong, and you're going to the wall, you change. Yeah. This is football. It's happening everywhere. It happens everywhere because it is the way to change the team, the coach. What you do? You change the stadium, you change the players, you change the owners.
Can I ask you something about the topic of coaches? Because we saw the last couple of years we experimented with young, talented coaches with ideas. We Valbeuna came in, Martinez came in. They both went to England and spent time watching teams, etc., etc., etc. But for me, at least, at the end of the day, I think Olympiacos is a club that needs a good manager, like somebody that's good managing the players, has an experienced manager. Do you think that is the best mold for Olympiacos managers? Question one. And the second question is about Greek managers. We don't export Greek managers in football. In basketball, we do. But I think that what we saw from the youth team, besides the passion of the players, the fire in their eyes, what we like to see, what we actually saw on the pitch,
football, yes,
3-4-3.
Yes, football.
It was something I've never seen before in a Greek club, and I want to ask your opinion about Silaidopoulos. And
Sotiris is a very, very good coach, a very creative coach, and the plan for him is to be club coach for years, and maybe one day, why not in the first team? That's why he's with Mr. Mendilibar, and he sees things, he knows many things already. We're not saying that we'll never have a Greek coach or something like this. What you said about the coaches, managers, I also believe that in big clubs, someone must be a manager. Because if someone who does not have the experience to control the players, the club, the dressing room, everything, is a problem. But there are youngs like Marco Silva who could control the dressing room, not being Medilibar with many successes. I believe we had many good coaches. And in the question, but how can you recruit Corberan? Corberan, when he was in championship and now again in the championship, is a very good coach, a very good person. He's working in ideas of future football, and he is a guy that he's already has a career, and he's very young. And you will see in 10 years that Corberan will be a coach in Premier League, if he will not be now, because as I saw, they already discussed for him in the Premier League. So this is the Corberan. Diego Martinez was a choice of Mr.
Gordon.
We were close to another coach, but he didn't came, and Diego Martinez came in the end. We thought that Diego Martinez will work, and his lack of experience will be covered by the umbrella of Mr. Cordon. But after, when Mr. Cordon left because of the personal matters that he had, all this became a mess. You understand? And this reflected to the club. And there was no any kind of Darko Kovacevic to say, hey, we don't do this. We are Olympiacos. We do this. Like today, Christian Karembe and Darko, they have this role. And Medilibar is, concerning only with the dressing room. And I think everything works very well now. So, but for coaches, for example, imagine that we had coaches like Zardim and Marco Silva, and you saw what happened after. There was a time when the former Olympiacos coaches were in 4 big clubs. In Everton, in Monaco, in Fenerbahce, in Malaga. I mean, Malaga at the time won in Champions League, not now.
Right.
So it is important that Olympiacos is a place for the people of football, that you cannot, you don't go and then you disappear. Olympiacos is under the spotlight of European football, and everybody that is in Olympiacos is well discussed all over Europe, and everybody is respecting them. And you see that after Olympiacos, they make a good career.
Since we're talking about spotlight, like the spotlight on Olympiacos and how that's impacted various things, and I know that the environment in Greece is different with respect to this, but I actually had a question about whether or not you thought that now with the Conference League win, the Youth League win, it is going to be easier to market Olympiacos around the world, whether it's TV rights, whether it's merchandising. Is that something that could be easier now? I come from this question from the side of, we're Lambro from Hawaii, myself, I'm from Baltimore, here in the States. For us, it's very difficult to watch Olympiacos, especially in the Greek league games. But the TV rights situation in Greece is a completely different issue nonetheless. But maybe does this spotlight maybe make it easier for maybe more maybe TV stations will want to come air Olympiacos, and they'll come to try to put the work in? Is that something that will help, or is the situation so much more difficult?
This is always a discussion for us and for the broadcasters in Greece, because for a reason that they know, they want to sell the worldwide rights for Olympiacos and for Panathinaikos and for AEK and for everybody. So I believe that the broadcasters from Greece should do everything they can to broadcast in US, in Australia, that we have millions of people. So I don't understand why they say, for example, yes, we sold the rights to Antenna Pacific, for example. I don't know, I remember the... okay, don't. Go to a broadcaster in US, go to a broadcaster in Australia and sell them. And this is a discussion that we'll make this August in the beginning, because I already discussed about this, because our fans in New York, in Toronto, in Canada, all over the world, they ask for this. We want to see Olympiacos. While the games were in Antenna, I believe, in US, they were watching some games, but
Right.
what they do. The other thing is internet. But I told you again, the problem is because the TV is cable in Greece, they don't accept for us to make a different situation and have a pay-per-view, for example, in internet or something. But now, with all this technology, it's unbelievable that you cannot watch a game. So I said to the people of Cosmote, I don't know why don't you discuss with something like Amazon, for example. The Prime.
Right.
So someone can pay a subscription in Prime and watch. The technology now gives you the right to do a surgery from distance. Am I right? So
No, you're right. You're right.
It's not normal that you cannot see a football match. I'm watching all the boxing matches from Amazon, from wherever they sell.
Right.
So from Fox, from NBC, from wherever. So I believe that we have to find a way, because the people love to see, not only Olympiacos, all the Greek people in US, in the States, in Australia, they want to see the matches. Because I believe in Germany, they find the way. That's why I don't talk about Germany.
Yeah, we all find a way, but I mean, personally, I have a Cosmote subscription in Greece, and I can watch Cosmote via the app in Belgium, where I live.
I told you. That's why I'm not speaking about Germany and EU.
Yeah.
But you don't know
as
that
soon as you
them in US and Australia is different.
Yeah.
Right.
You cannot play satellite in US or in Australia.
But I can imagine, just as an example, let's say El Kabi's family in
Don't
Morocco
worry.
said,
Don't worry, Labros, for Hawaii will find a way. Don't worry.
find a solution for me. But I'm
At the end of the day, I'll have my mobile in the match and you see it from here. Okay?
Perfect. I'll text you.
A personal broadcast for Hawaii only.
But I wanted to ask, because surely players are like, oh, my mom wants to watch the game in Morocco. What do you guys tell her? Like let's say El Kabi asks you, my brother wants to watch in Morocco. What do you guys tell him as a club? Any way they can, I guess, or an agent wants to see their player and they're in Turkey or something. You know what I mean? It's craziness, right?
It's very easy, because everybody has a Y Scout. So
We have Y Scout.
Okay, so you see the games. So watch the games.
That's how I watch.
In Y Scout Professional, they have live also. So
I didn't know they did
I
live.
watch the game real time. So the agents do this, but to other families, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the families of the Arab players live in France. In Morocco, I think they have a cable from France. So maybe, especially in Morocco, maybe there's a way. But in other countries, no. But I care about the Greeks that they are in US and Australia the more. Because in Europe, you see Costa, he found a way.
He's
with
happy.
the app of...
I don't know if that's legal, but I'm doing it anyway.
It is.
Oh, okay.
because they were idiots before. And what they did, they said, no, away from Greece, no.
They blocked it.
Away, and they lost money. But now that they know, in reality, they sell the app. Because, okay, you take the subscription in Greece, but they know you can use the app, which is free in EU. So it's a solution.
Mm.
And I think also for Nova is the same. You can see EON in Europe.
And in the USA too, they had the Net TV Plus.
They had something called Nova Sports World.
I believe Aris is watching everything. Yeah. He's making fun of us.
He sees everything.
Like Scout, he's watching all the systems.
The rest of us, nothing. He holds it himself.
The only problem I see is in Hawaii, my beloved place, and my best.
And we're waiting. We'll set up a satellite. Maybe.
Don't worry, we'll find a solution. Another question,
Costa, with the C, you have anything you want to ask? Because I can ask a question. We were going through the lineup, and we got stopped at central defense. We were going through. We can keep going.
I said about Stamenic also. We were in the yes.
There are a lot of questions, obviously, about transfers. I think Kostas pretty much answered everything about what we're trying to do, etc. I think
in the middle, the thing is easy because Cekinio is our player, Eze is our player. I think that they are very, very important. Those two, very, very, very important for the club. And now we have to see what will happen with Horta, the way we play. Because for Mr. Medilibar, Fortounis is playing in the side. So I'm not putting him in number 10 or in the middle.
Right.
So after we have one winger now, Gelson.
Yeah.
I believe he will be much, much, much better the next year because he will have preparation. He will know now the team. He knows the system. He knows Mr. Medilibar. And Mr. Medilibar also believes that he will be 70% better. And of course, we will have him also in Europe to help in the spaces in the counter-attack. And we have to see what will happen with Masouras, Kostas, and Podence in the winger. So it's an open case, the wingers. We discuss with all of them. We want to keep them all. We'll see.
Can I ask you something? In Greece, they reported that all of these players had options to buy them. Is this true? That there was a 4 million option on Horta, there was a 5 million on Podence. Yes, is this just made up, or is this because it's so difficult to understand what is true,
in every contract you make now in loans, you have an option.
Okay.
Because no team is giving a player on loan without an option.
Got it.
And I don't take a player on loan without an option because but you never pay the option.
Right.
Maybe this is good for you to explain this. Maybe this is another transfer thing that would help.
We take a guy on loan. We say we put a clause in 6 million to buy him, but after we discuss and we take him with 3 or 4. This is what is happening in reality. If teams insist in 6 and you think after you say, for example, Alexandropoulos, he has 4 million as a clause. We made a proposal in Sporting which is not 4 million. But now they come to see, okay, will I take the 4 million or not? Well, Carmo had 18 millions.
Right.
Yeah.
Porto, when they sign the papers, they know that we will never pay 18 millions for a center back. Because if we pay 18 millions for a center back, we must pay 36 for the center forward of the striker.
Yeah.
It's the truth. This is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew. So we discuss now. We want more, take one more, blah, blah, blah. The players are pressure. They put the pressure. I don't want to stay. I want to go to Olympiacos. It's a big game.
Yeah.
It's a very, very complicated game that has to do with the relations we have with the agents, the relations we have with the player, the relations we have with the club, and all this working together and trying to find the right moment. Because sometimes you say you are late. No, I'm not late. Because when I put my proposal to the table of Porto, I want them to have a center back more that they finished, and now Carmo wants more to come to Olympiacos. If he wanted 80%, now he wants 95%. This is a game. This is a tactical game. And of course, we cannot explain this to all the time to the fans.
Yeah.
But the fans that they read and they understand football, I believe that now these days started to understand what is happening.
Right.
They know that, guys, if a team comes and put 5 million on the table to a player, he will take it. He will take the player. It's a case that you don't even fight.
Right.
Because I told you, you have to imagine, if you put 5 million in a player, you cannot have another player with 800,000. Then you destroy your teams.
Right.
The only certain way to destroy a football club is to make imbalance in the dressing room. You lost.
Right.
You lost the game.
Kosta, while you're clarifying for the audience, kind of like how the process is, I had asked you before, to give me like a general day in your life. Can you give us kind of a general? I know not all deals are the same, but can you give us a general start to finish kind of how a deal happens when you make contact with either the agent or his team, and then how long that takes, how it goes? I know it's not the same for every case is unique, but is there a way you could kind of like illustrate that for the audience?
There is a number of people in club that they are working in recruitment of players and scouting. A big number now. We have more than 20 people that are in scouting and analyzing.
Oh, wow.
For the first time in the last 2 years, we have people that they make not only analyzing football, but also statistics of every player, and also medical statistics, which is a new entry in Greece. And what we do is if we want a player, let's say we want Mr. Karapapas from Brazil. The first thing that we do, of course, is that we work with a football department that if he's the player that the coach wants, I mean the characteristics. We are not the kind of clubs that they say to the coach, tell us the names. It's not the job of the coach. The coach will say to you, I want a right back with this skill, with this characteristic, doing this, being good in set pieces, being good in crosses, and you try to find a player very close to what he says. And you bring him a list. This is the list that you have. Who do you prefer? Watch them. This is a game, blah, blah, blah. This thing is has the final decision from the coach, but also from the sport director, Mr. Kovacevic. If the scouting agrees, the sporting director agrees, and the coach agrees, then it comes to us. When it comes to us, we make the approach, and the approach depends on who we know. It seems complicated, but it's not. Because, for example, we are a number of people and we know some agents. So the right man speaks to the agent that has a good relation. We want this player. I want to tell you that we have the bless in this club that Mr. Marinakis knows very well this game, and he's a very, very big player now in Europe. Imagine now that he has 3 clubs, and of course he can call whoever he wants. And I say the top. And if you see in the final, when you see in the final Mr. Mendes and all the people in the stands, you understand that this is a big part of the game of football. Because if you don't have these connections, you can never have players like Potensi. Never.
Right.
Never. You can never take a player like this, or Carmo. You cannot.
It's so confusing. Confusing. There's a lot of parts, and
it's like Game of Thrones, Labros.
It seems like that. We're here watching, we're reading.
It is. And I tell you, one single transfer can send you to the madhouse. One.
Yeah.
Imagine in summers we have 25.
Yeah.
For example, last day of the transfer, of the transfer period, the last season, we had this technical director, Pedro Alves from Portugal,
Yeah.
who was also someone who was in a Ferrari, and he had to drive a Ferrari, but it was not a Ferrari of streets. It was a Ferrari of Grand Prix. So it's a different kind of Ferrari. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you cannot put a driver to make him a pilot in one day. There's a distance. So he said to me, we were about to take a winger, Cabral. But Cabral was with his national team in Copa Africa.
Yeah.
And to take Cabral the last day of the transfer, we had to take blue card from different federations. The Portugal, his team, Sporting, Federation where he was playing in Arabia, and Greek Federation, and combine all them in a day that was a day off in Greece. And everybody was shut down in Qatar or in wherever he was. And we were calling KRMB to call the sake of to open. Sorry, I'm laughing, but sometimes this happens, and the people don't know. Or for example, you sign Marcelo in 11:59, and the state needs a card of something from the tax office. Where to find the tax office? Saturday night, 11:30, my friend, in Greece.
Yeah.
Where? But I tell you some things. But in the last day of the transfer to Cabral, we were ready. We were ready to send him to sign the contract. We finished everything. And Pedro Alves came to my office. I remember it like now. And he said to me, Kostas, no chance for transfer. I said, what? And of course, everybody was calling, okay, with the boy, we finished. He signed. I said, what do you mean, no chance? But the boy is having a training now with the national team. What? What training, my friend? It's 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock, finish. No, but yes, but he has a training. Okay, call him now. But he's going to the training. I don't care. Call him now. Stop the training. I don't know what you do. He called him, and I said to the boy, hey, go to your trainer, to your coach, and say to him, you go after half an hour, my friend, or no transfer. What can you do?
Yeah.
All this thing has a lot of pressure, and this is only one case.
Right.
Case. And I imagine summers that we have 10 or 15, and imagine how many transfers we have to go. Because
Right.
also, we have a law department that works 15 hours per day for this.
Right.
I want to ask you something as well. Like with these agents, do you ever have a target where you say, I'm going to take this player, and they say, hey, if you take this player, you have to take this player? Is that reality as well? Have you encountered that where they say, well, if you're going to take this player, you need to take this player, let's say at Real Ave or at Forest?
I have an example that happens to us.
Yeah.
And the other player who came, he was better.
Wow.
I remember one example for 6-7 years.
Oh, wow.
But not a bad player. You're not gonna buy a bad player. You buy a player that you believe that he can play.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but he can play.
Yeah.
But now that you are a balanced team, you don't do this.
Right. You don't need to.
So now you don't need to do this.
Yeah.
Maybe in the first years you have to do this because you don't know the agent, the agents, all this, and maybe you want to make a relation. Okay, I will take him also because maybe he's good. Let's have him here. But now you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
Now we're big.
So who was the most difficult, if you don't mind my asking? Like, what country has the most difficult clubs to deal with? For me, it sounds like Argentina is pretty difficult.
By far. By far. First of all, we don't
worse
have
than Brazil. Is there a difference as well? Because I know
in Brazil they're very professional.
Interesting.
Very, very, and very, very rich now. Teams give very, very good contracts. Brazil and Mexico. It's near to the big countries of Europe.
We saw Yakumakis left Atlanta, which is considered higher MLS for Mexico, which
He
surprised
went to
people.
Mexico. I didn't know. Where?
Yeah, Monterrey, Ari. Where did he go?
Cruz Azul, I thought.
Who? Cruz Azul. One of these clubs.
It's a nice place there to play football. And after, if your contract is expired, maybe you go without money. But okay, go if you are very brave. Go to play to Mexico.
Yeah, it's an experience. It's an experience.
You know, we had a player. You remember we had a Mexican player, and
Alan
they
Pulido,
kidnapped
right?
Pulido, yeah.
They kidnapped him,
Yeah.
and they said to me, "Kostas, you have to go to Mexico." I go to Mexico to find Pulido. No way, my friend.
What are you gonna do in Mexico, man?
No,
You're gonna go Rambo. You're gonna take him.
Kostas came to Tijuana, guys. Stop what you do.
Oh my god.
No way. And it was his cousin who took him.
What?
I remember.
I didn't
there was
know
some
that.
weird story.
No,
Yeah.
the cousin. The cousin of
His girlfriend's family. Or
Oh, yeah.
something.
That's
cousin.
okay.
Yes, you're right.
Jesus Christ.
I remember reading that story. I remember reading that in the news and be like, wait, what? This happened?
We had a guy like a deputy sport director, Juanjo Lorenzo. Now he's in Spain, in Mallorca, I think. And he spoke Spanish and said, "You are my man." He said, "Why? You go to Mexico. You speak Spanish. You are small. They can put you in a box. Me, they cannot put me." And he really went. But he was lucky because after 1 week, the cousin said, "Okay." Alan came back and finished. It was crazy. But yes, Brazil, they are very serious now. The clubs, very serious. And the agents in Brazil, they're very good. And in Argentina, first of all, in Argentina, the clubs are like in Spain, like in Turkey. They're clubs. They are clubs with members. So sometimes when you go to buy a player, maybe you don't have to pay all the money to the club. You have to pay around. But it's very difficult. Agents, relatives, every young boy in Argentina, because this is a big industry. It's, maybe the best industry of Argentina is football. They took the kids 12. They start, take money, I'm your agent. After in 13, someone else come, bigger. And when the kid is 19 and you want to take him to Greece, all 7, they come to you. No, it's me. No, I have papers. Said, okay, keep your papers, keep the player. Next.
My God.
For Eze, we spoke 5 months.
Oh, wow.
Maybe his agents went 5 times in Mykonos. Come and go. And I said, well, we will take this player, or they just make vacations. What we will do. But this is the way you have to approach. You have to persuade everybody that you are a big club. You have to. And after, when the families are coming here, this is a very big advantage for Greek football. When the families are coming to Athens and they see the city, they say, we come here.
Yeah.
Many times. And they have houses here, all the big players, Cambiaso, Valbeuna, many players have houses and come back all the time here. And it's nice for us also that all these players, even Cambiaso, who played 1 year, he still comes and goes and speak about Olympiacos. He played in Real Madrid. He won Champions League with Real Madrid, with Inter. And he speaks about Olympiacos. This is important. Like Christian Karembé. You know, people say, what exactly is Karembé doing in Olympiacos? Yeah. He's doing the most important thing. He's the ambassador of Olympiacos all over the world. And this is very, very, very important. Imagine a player who comes to the dressing room of Olympiacos and he sees Karembé and Kovacevic.
Right.
He speaks to the legends.
Yeah.
He has to respect them. Understand?
Yeah.
What can you say football-wise to Christian Karembé? He won everything. Euro, World Cup, Champions League.
Costa, we've been going on 2 hours and 20 minutes. Really, really appreciate your time. We've got a couple more questions, one in particular that I'll get to. But before we do, I want to give a shout out to this man, Gus Drax, in the chat. He was asking earlier if you're into metal. Kostas is he's a musician, and the music that you heard at the beginning of the show is by him. So I wanted to give a big shout out to Gus Drax, one of our oldest followers. He asked you actually if you're into metal, heavy metal.
All
He
my
was
life.
asking earlier.
He knows something. all my life. I started to hear Greek music when I was 40. Of course, okay, I'm not in thrash or speed or death metal, but okay. I was born and raised with Motorhead. I was born and raised with Metallica, classic things, and maybe some other groups that I like a lot, but they're not so famous. You know?
Iron Maiden, maybe.
Iron Maiden are famous, my friend. I'm talking about the small groups.
Ari, stick to Y Scout. Don't talk about music. Just
Y
stick to
Scout's calling out. They need more money from us
I
to study.
that
close.
Iron Maiden was the name of the Belgium defense when they were good. But okay, the thing is that we were talking about Brazil before. Sepultura is a great club. Heavy metal from Brazil. Who could think about this?
Wow.
You think about samba and blah blah blah, but if you hear Sepultura, very nice club.
Yeah,
Nice.
I have a non-question.
Nice club, I said.
I have a non-music question, but I wanted.
We have the same problem. We think about football all the time.
Exactly. I'm sick. I heard the name Valbeuna, and I wanted to ask: is he this guy, Mathieu, who's not here, one of our French members of our team? We spoke with him a few times in the mix zone. This guy loves Olympiacos and knows so much football. Like, you sit next to him and listen, and you could listen to him forever talk about football. He loves it.
Yes.
Will he come back to Olympiacos? I'm fingers crossed, because this guy,
of course,
it's incredible.
He's a member of the family, and he will come back. Yes, it's it's good.
I'll pass it on.
I want to tell you something. When we signed Valbeuna, we were playing a friendly game in pre-season against Hamburg. We made the pre-season in Austria, and we played Olympiacos Hamburg. So I was with a car in another city. I don't remember. I think we had a transfer, and I went to send some papers in another city, and I went to the village that we played the pre-season game. And when I was there, I saw 300 fans of Fenerbahce. And I said to the guy of the press officer who was with me, "Where the fuck are we going? We're not playing here." No, we're playing here. How we play here? This is Fenerbahce fans. No, we play here. My friend, are you crazy? You see? And after I said, imagine that they are here for Valbeuna. And they were here for Valbeuna, 300 people. And I called back and I said, this guy will give his best in Olympiacos, because if he stays 2 years in Turkey and they love him so much, this means that he gave everything. So we will love him also. And as you know, not only we love him, he's our master of fiesta. You know, in the celebrations, he's number one.
Yeah.
Number one. Nobody can compete with Mathieu.
But he told me after the stadium in a game, he said, no one knows how massive this club is. This club can win European titles. Mathieu Valbeuna said that after. This was against Limassol, I want to say.
Him in the final, that they hold him to be up to watch better.
But it's crazy. He's this guy. He knows.
When we asked the federation, we said, guys, we have 30, 40 legends of the club. Why you put them there? Please put them in a stand near VIP to be with their families. The families of the players were in the corner with the fans of Gate 7.
Yeah.
You saw in the beginning the mess And the problem in the beginning was this: that the family, imagine 1 hour before the match, that the families called the players. Where we go, because they killed everything. I don't know how. Thank God everything finished the way they finished, and we forgot everything now, the positions, the places. But it was funny because I saw a video when Valbeuna was, or Omar El Abdellaoui also, the way this boy loves the club. When he went to Galatasaray because they persuade him that we take 300 times the money. In the end, he didn't. And after that tragic thing happened to him, and after we were playing European game, and Youssef El Arabi called me and said to me, "Kostas, where are you?" I said, "I'm in the room. What happened?" He said, "Come to see a friend of yours." And it was Omar. He came to our hotel. I remember he was crying. Said, "Kostas, I'd never have. I had to stay to Olympiacos. My life changed, but you know how much I love the club." And now, before the final, he called me. He said, "Hey, we're coming. Hey, everybody, me, Hassan, everybody will come to the final." I said, "Okay, of course you come." But it's very nice for us to feel this. Sorry, everybody, all these big players of the past, and they call again. And Saviola, they play Barcelona with Bayern, a Legends game. And Saviola called and said, "Tell them that Saviola is better than Rivaldo and Giovanni, that they're here with me." I am the said, "Sorry, you know I support the national team of Argentina, but I cannot say this. This is I cannot say you are better than Giovanni and Rivaldo. Sorry." But no, it's great that all these players love Olympiacos.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Got two more must questions, I think.
Go.
After transfer business, what do you think the question on all Olympiacos minds is right now, besides transfers? The second topic, what do you think it is?
Transfers.
It's the jersey. Is the jersey? You know how many questions we've got about the jersey for next year? We got one of our most our oldest listeners is a gentleman called Kostas Papadimitriou. He wrote us a message, a very long message. He said that he wrote to you 14 years ago when you were working as a journalist, and you wrote a piece. I think it was in Gavros called Ierimas Fanella. It was a title. And he was talking about the classic Olympiacos kit with the white shorts, the white shirt with the 2 or 3 stripes. And there's a lot of passion and a lot of anger.
So he knows how important this for me also, if you remember this.
Yeah. So like people are asking, like, you know, can we have a black jersey? Do you know how, like, we've talked about this so many times. Why don't we have a black jersey, for example? But what can you tell us about the jerseys? Is there going to be one jersey that comes out in the summer? If you can tell us when the new jerseys will be out. And is there going to be another one that comes out in March that will be like a collector's item?
So you know everything. So why ask me?
You need to confirm.
Oh,
We can talk, but you're more important than us.
First of all, let's start from now. As you saw, we presented the emblem that we have for 100 years, and I believe that it's very nice.
Yes.
And I believe that it's beautiful. And for example, you saw maybe the emblem that AEK has for 100 years with something like, I don't know why they didn't work better.
It's great.
But we worked a lot, and I think we have a very, very, very nice emblem. And we have an agreement with basketball and with amateur clubs, and all the teams will have the same. Basketball, volleyball, handball will have this badge of 100 years, which is great. So all the next season we have this. So this emblem of the 100 years and the new emblem with the 4 stars and the European star will be in all the company ID everywhere, the 2 badges. But in the shirt, we have the 100-year shirt, the 100 years badge. The shirt that we have this summer will be great. Red and white, simple, Adidas. You like it very much, I'm sure, because I'm specialist in in this subject. So, but the jersey that we present for one match only, for the 100 years of the club, will make you cry, because it is something that when we show in the offices, we wear like this. Because sometimes is what you said. What you see must be simple, must be Olympiacos, and must be the best quality. I will tell you that the stripes in this shirt of the 100 years will be one by one. So there will be a special department of Adidas that works in centenary in shirts of 3 big European teams. One of them is Olympiacos. And the shirt is what the traditional shirt of Olympiacos is. You described it before. But I don't want to blow all my marketing and all my...
There we go.
Is that gonna be available for
Adidas will kill us. Even the information I'm saying now is, hey, what are you doing, my friend? But okay, as you know, nobody says to Kostas, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? So I know what the fans think. So we have to buy the new shirt now this summer. Don't wait for March, because it will be fantastic also. You will like very much the second also. Remember, Kostas? You will
Okay.
like the second.
Okay.
The third, okay, is something, but the first and the second you like very much.
I'm still holding out for all black, red jersey.
The second maybe also bring memories of the past.
Oh God. Oh,
Okay.
God.
I'm going to be going through all my jerseys now. My wife is about to yell at me because she already told me.
I can tell you in which game you have to go, but I won't. Because I remember when me and my commercial department and the marketing, we gave photos to Adidas to understand what we're waiting for. Because sometimes you know how companies are. Now we have a great new fuchsia number 13. I don't wear fuchsia, my friend. I'm Olympiacos. Yes, but we have pink. No, we don't wear pink hotel because we are Olympiacos. Yes, what do you mean we are Olympiacos? We are Olympiacos. You don't have to know everything. I say no, and you put this away. We don't have to. But you know how great company Adidas is, and we have a fantastic cooperation. Even now that they have some problems with other teams from Ambeloki, Athens, and other teams like this. But okay.
Can I just clarify that? And thank you so much for
sharing. I bet.
Yeah.
You're gonna love the first and the second kits that we present during the summer. I think in the middle of July, the first, and in the beginning of August, the second and the third, and maybe earlier. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just pretending that I know. I don't know. But okay, during the summer for sure. And I'm sure that you're going to love and like the 100-year shirt. And it's going to be very emotional what we're going to do. And I think that all the things that we do for 100 years will be emotional.
Is the 100-year shirt going to be available for purchase?
Yes.
As well? Yes.
Of course.
Okay.
And it's going to be everywhere. And it's going to be, we wanted to do this to show this shirt one-off and not to be a shirt that we were wearing all season. We wanted to be a unique thing, and we wanted to connect this shirt, with the past, not to be the kit that Olympiacos was wearing in this season. It will be one-off. So it's gonna be collectible. It's gonna be fantastic. I mean, the way they make this shirt is a story by itself. We will soon have a make-off story to see it, because it's very, 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 very extraordinary. It's something I've never seen again in my life. And they explained to me, they show me how they put the stripes together in a special way, and the material is unbelievable, and it's fantastic. It's a kind
my
of.
wife has to make way for 3 shirts.
It's the material of dreams. 3, yes.
Yeah.
You will buy first the second.
Yes.
You will like a lot. Then you have the first, because very, very good, and it's Olympiacos, red, white stripes. You will love it, and of course the 100-year shirt. It's going to be fantastic.
And another question that people ask, the younger generation, Olympiacos in FIFA or whatever the name is now, EAFC, Olympiacos isn't in the game. I didn't know this, but they asked, will we be in the game next season?
The first young player of FIFA who asked this for 2 years is me.
Okay. We're seeing a lot of our younger followers.
No. Of course, I win all the players. They think that they can play FIFA, my friend. They start from 5-0 and they stop. Say, okay, Kara, we cannot play you. But the last year, it was for days that we didn't reach the goal to be in the edition before. Now we will be for sure. Because we almost did it the last year also. I mean, for FIFA 24. Now in FIFA 25, we cannot be in FC 25. We cannot be 100 years. We have,
so
the centenary badge. It will be fantastic.
Okay, so it's all the FIFA players following Olympiacos will be in the next FIFA. So,
yes.
Or EAFC, I think that's how they say it. So, yeah.
Yes, FC. We have to. So many years we called FIFA. FC.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this was the last question about the FC.
There's Sparos. Let's go. He's very excited.
So guys, you are happy with the last 2 answers, right? We finished well.
I think so. I think
so
we did.
I want to say something else. I said to Costa and to Ari that we were about to make this conversation, not because we won the European Cup, but this is something that we discussed a long time ago, and we were about to do it after the season finished. It's not because we are... I'm trying to say it's not because it's an easy moment that we discuss. We can discuss even in bad times. But they have to wait a long time for bad times now, because the years to come we will have a lot of fun. I believe that we have a very, very good team this year. And as you know, the new format of European Cups gives you material to dream again. And when you don't have the teams coming from Champions League, you know from the beginning what we have to deal with. So if you have to deal with Manchester United or Roma, are you afraid? I'm not. We can compete them. Yeah, if I know I'm not gonna go to find in the next stage Manchester City or something like this, you have again reason to dream. And if someone doesn't know how the new formation is, now in the summer is the same. We don't care. We don't play qualification rounds. But from September, the 3 competitions, Champions League, Europa, and Conference, will have 36 teams, and this is it. There's not going to be any team from other competition go to the other competition. This is a close competition now on the European League. So we have 36 teams. These 36 teams, we have 4 tiers, 4 different segments of teams, and you take 2 teams from each group. 2 from the first, 2 from the second, 2 from the third, 2 from the fourth. So you take 2 from your group also, and you play 4 games home and 4 games away. After this, there is a point system for all the teams of the 36. The first 8 go to 16. Are you here with me, or it's a little bit physics?
Yeah.
The first 8 are going to 16. From 9 to 24, they play playoffs 16 times. So the 8 winners go to 16 also. And from 25 to 36, they're out, eliminated. So I believe if we are not in the first 8 and go straight to 16, we will be for sure in playoffs. So you have for sure 5 games home and 5 games away, which is great. I'm saying this because our season tickets are already near to 20,000. And I think that we'll have a record and then we'll stop.
That's something we didn't speak about, but we hear a lot about tickets from people who live abroad. What number do I put for AMCA? How do I buy a fan card?
We are trying 1 month, and they gave us a promise from the government that they will put all what we have to do on a paper in our site, and we explain. Because we said to them, with this law, you leave the people that they don't have new technology, cell phones, old people, and the people from abroad outside the stadium. They cannot come.
Yeah.
So they promised that before August they will have they'll fix this problem. So we'll give instructions and everybody can come.
Okay.
I hope I was not I didn't make you very uncomfortable with my Skid Row LA English.
Not at all.
You're American, you mean?
American. Yes.
Hawaiian.
The one who says, I said LA Skid Row. It has nothing to do with Oxford. I told you. So we'll meet again, I hope, in some months and discuss again. And I hope that this year we'll make the best in Europe. I said we keep on dreaming. You know what we say. We have to win the league title for 100 years. And it's a year of celebration for what happened and what is yet to come. And I believe that now we change the chip in the club. We need more.
Maybe going to need a bigger stadium soon.
I would like to thank you for being here. I would like to say that you are a very unique example, that you convert your love for Olympiacos to communication for people that they live abroad. And sometimes I'm saying to journalists, take a look about some presentations that these people do. To me, in my eyes, seem more professional than what you do. They're analyzing, players and all that. But I'm not saying it in a bad way for the journalist. I'm saying it because, in the end of the day, someone is working better when we love something. When we have the emotional tension to go somewhere, the emotional, I think it works better. I see it with our club also, because I told you in the beginning, we are a family and we want to keep it like this. And my message for the end is support and love Olympiacos more when the days are rainy and difficult. Because during sunshine, everybody's happy. We need you more when the sky is gray.
Amen.
And
that's
I
for
know,
me who whines. I whine too much. That's for me. I whine a lot.
I know. And I know that you are this kind of supporters. That's why I pray. So I thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
I will
much.
be with my beard. Okay. No products from jungles, guys. Never again.
Never.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Costa, thank you so much from the bottom of our heart. Everything that we do with love and meraki. I can't translate that in English actually, but that's the only word that comes to mind. We
There are
do it
some
because
words
we
in
love.
Greek like meraki and felotimo. They have to search and find what the meaning is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your time and
One
coming
more.
on.
I'm waiting for the intel for Hawaii. Eh?
I'm waiting.
Waikiki and all the
We're
other
gonna be
places.
waiting. Waikiki Beach.
Bye bye. All the best. Eh?
Καλό βράδυ. Thank you, Costa.
Καλή νύχτα.
Καλή νύχτα. Wow.
Incredible.
What an interview, guys. We're almost 3 hours in here. So unless Costa Alhambra, unless you guys have anything else, I think it's
No, man. Like, dude, I mean, it's a incredible interview. Thank you so much for everybody that's tuned in from all over the world. It's been a record night in terms of viewership. There's over 3,000 people following right now from different platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, from all over the world. I feel like I can't even say like I apologize. That, you know, it's just there's so many questions that have come in like through the comments. We haven't been able to address everything. You know, we'd love to be able to speak with Costa for longer, but like the man's taken time out of his schedule tonight. It's 1:20 in the morning in Athens, in Greece, and Costa's been here with us almost 3 hours answering our questions, discussing with us. Not possible to cover everything. Like, we didn't cover the stuff that we had written down, but we'll be, you know, I think Mano raised it in the chat. Like, this kind of discussion is something that we would like to do more regularly. From, you know, but the fact that he's come in and honored us on the show and answered our questions and spent so much time is really fantastic in and of itself, and an achievement, an amazing achievement for this initiative that started 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, it's just incredible. And we got a lot of like great insights, like things that I've never heard him talk about or heard anybody from the club talk about before. So, I mean, great stuff. I mean, thank you guys for joining. This was amazing. The type of thing when we started, I don't think we ever considered would be a possibility. So
No.
and think about it, like it's 1 a.m. in Greece, right? It's almost 1:30 in the morning in Greece. My word. I mean, I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. So
it makes me think.
Anyway.
I saw Peru playing, and I thought about Miguel Trauco in the interview we did with a Peruvian journalist literally 4 years ago. Oh my God, so much has come. And I want to say a quick hi to Stella from Pagrati Strong, best neighborhood in Athens. Anyways,
we are going to have to do like what Concept Calcio said. We need to do a debrief from the interview because he gave so much information. There was so much information we got about not just things that happened in the past, but like things that he's talked about now, the way things flow. And I think now that we have that knowledge, we can make sense of a lot more decisions and a lot more things that are coming. So I think that probably would be a nice episode to do a debrief from the interview.
Yeah, and we can actually try and answer like fan questions as well, like more directly. We will. I promise, like we will do that in the coming days. We can have a show. There are like, again, 3,000 people in here. We will do another show midweek to answer questions just from the live, maybe some things that you've missed. But again, this interview will be available again. We'll make sure the subtitles are right for Greeks as well.
you want to say that in Greek real quick for our Greek listeners about subtitles?
Ναι, λοιπόν, για όσους μας ακούτε από Ελλάδα που δεν τα έχετε τόσο καλά με τα αγγλικά, είπαμε, αυτό το κανάλι είναι για τη διεθνή κοινότητα, είναι για Ολυμπιακούς πρώτης, δεύτερης, τρίτης γενιάς που μάθανε για τον Ολυμπιακό από τους παππούδες τους, από γιαγιάδες, θείους, και φυσικά για τους Ολυμπιακούς στην Ελλάδα, αλλά θέλουμε να έχουμε ένα ευρύτερο κοινό για να μαθαίνει και ο κόσμος που δεν είναι Έλληνες, που δεν ξέρουν για τον Ολυμπιακό, να μάθουν για τον Ολυμπιακό. Γιατί είμαστε ένας ελληνικός σύλλογος, αλλά ένας ελληνικός σύλλογος με διεθνές αντίκτυπο. Οπότε γι' αυτό το λόγο κάνουμε την εκπομπή στα αγγλικά, για να έχουμε ένα μεγαλύτερο reach. Δεν μου έρχεται η λέξη τώρα στα ελληνικά. Τέλος πάντων, η συνέντευξη αυτή θα έχει ελληνικούς υπότιτλους. Μόλις τελειώσουμε τώρα το live, θα πάμε να κοιτάξουμε τους υπότιτλους, θα τα φτιάξουμε για να μπορούν και ο κόσμος από την Ελλάδα να παρακολουθήσει και να ακούσει και να καταλάβει όλα όσα είπε ο Κώστας και όλα όσα συζητήσαμε. For those of you that are joking around and want French and Dutch translation, that's not going to happen.
I do French. I put everything in French and Spanish.
No. Oh, actually, no. Yeah, that's to be fair. Once we've fixed the English transcription, we can put anything French, Korean, Arabic, whatever. But again, I want to give a big shout out. I mean, our biggest audience is in Greece. Let's be real. I think more than 70% of people that tune in and watch us, they're watching us from Greece. So we do recognize how important that is, and we're grateful to everyone that's followed us from day one that we started this initiative, that we went live on YouTube, and everyone that's here today, people that have just discovered us maybe today from this interview. We're here for you, good times and bad. Like Costa put it brilliantly. You know, when the sky is grey, that's when you need to be close to the club and support.
Yeah.
After.
That's it.
That's it, guys.
That's it, guys.
No, really good episode.
That was amazing. I'm gonna look forward. I'm gonna be listening to that during the week to pick out some of the insights and then roll with that.
It's funny, we got to goalkeeper, right back, central defense, but we didn't get the full 11 from him. I saw people saying that.
Man, there's so many people asking about El Kabi. I think
I saw there was a story that broke while we were live.
Yeah, it's like there's some story going out that he's apparently flying to Turkey tomorrow. I mean, I think when it comes to transfers, he really said everything that needs to be said, which is that, you know, we're not going to pay 5 million for a player. Like, we're not going to overpay a player because we can't compete with, you know, that kind of Fenerbahce. He said they're paying 14 million to Mourinho, and that's not to say that yes, he's going to Fenerbahce tomorrow. I don't know, but I think in terms of what the strategy is and how they're approaching things, like he explains in depth. Like, Ari, you asked the question, like how does a transfer work from start to end? He gave examples and tactics. He said it's Game of Thrones, you know.
Yep. And he was very clear. Like, he said, look, we're offering more money than we would have offered, like more money than we've ever offered. And that's it. That's all you can do. So that to me is pretty clear. Like, we know the range. He also affirmed all the things we've talked about with regards to financial fair play, with regards to like the taxes, the money. Like, this is all stuff we talk about. Some of you don't like to hear, but he just told you guys these things are very real. So I think we got a lot of great information, and man, I'm excited. I'm excited now for the jerseys. My wife was ready for like one more jersey this year. I told her maybe 2, but now I'm going to bring 3 home this year. My wife's going to
Malaka, yeah, I'm going to spend like 300 euros on jerseys. But man, like, he pretty much, I mean, he said to me, Costa, you're going to like the second jersey a lot.
Yeah, specifically.
Is it finally going to be a black jersey? Like, we've been waiting for that one for
blue, maybe blue and whites as well. So
I stopped wearing it because every time I wore my black jersey, everyone told me it was bad luck. So then I stopped wearing the jersey on the show.
I swear we only wore it like once against Ajax in '98, I want to say, or something. But
yeah, anyway. All right, guys. It's about that time. I mean, you got almost 3 hours. It's our longest show we've ever done. We've never had a live audience. I mean, we never had a live audience break over 1,000 before. I don't think it even broke 750. So like over 4 times like our record before. Incredible stuff from a live audience. Incredible stuff, guys. If you're still in here.
Dude, there are so many people in here from Twitter, like X in particular, those of you that are following from X, get onto YouTube as well. Like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, engage with the content on YouTube. There's more coming. Like, there's some incredible work going on the channel. Ari does fantastic job on deep dives and scout reports of players that are coming in. That stuff is exclusive to YouTube. So again, if you're watching or listening from Twitter, make sure to head on to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you get the very best of what's coming out from Gate 7 International. We're active on different platforms, Instagram, Twitter, but YouTube is the main home, guys. So again, I say it in Greek as well. I know a lot of Greek listeners on Twitter. Ελάτε στο κανάλι στο YouTube, κάντε subscribe για να έχετε άμεση επικοινωνία μαζί μας, να βλέπετε τα καλύτερα επεισόδια, τα scout reports που έχουμε. Είναι μεταγραφική περίοδος. Κάντε το κόπο στα γρήγορα, 10 δευτερόλεπτα θα σας πάρει. Μπείτε στο YouTube, κάντε ένα like, ένα subscribe για να παίρνετε ό,τι καλύτερο βγαίνει από το κανάλι.
Just go to the channel and check out what he just brought up. He just told everybody here that he tells the other journalists, look at the professionalism and the analysis and the stuff that we do. Like, I mean, hearing that out of like his mouth is so affirming. It was amazing to hear that. So awesome stuff, guys. Awesome, everybody.
Awesome. Okay.
That's the show.
That's the show. Yeah, on that note.
Everyone, thank you.
Who's going to do the exit? Who's going to do the outro? How do you end it?
I don't know. I talked too much during the interview. I felt like I was talking with a friend. So you guys do the outro. You
guys, thank you everyone for listening. As we brought up before, thank you everyone that's been following, especially our oldest followers that are still with us here. There's still over 3,200 of you in here now listening. Guys, you know, this community is so far and wide. We've seen so many great things happen, and we've seen the power that the community has. You know, we're just fans just like you, and this show will always be by the fans for the fans. When we all get together and do stuff together, and support each other and engage the club, the show, and we grow the community like this, I mean, together we're unstoppable, which is something we've said before. So thank you everybody for tuning in. This is Gate 7 International, and we got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys. So have a great night.